Well, good afternoon there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. I'm your host, Assassin47, and joining me on the desk are casters and analysts, Salty and Aggressive. How are you guys doing? Starting with you, Aggressive.
Honestly, I'm really pumped at this stage, going to cast with Salty, the new face of our whole talent group. I'm really excited, and the first match is going to be one for the books as well. That's going to be TRUERIPPERS going up against the side of Samurai. And at this point, Assassin, I don't know what to expect coming out from both of these teams. They are so evenly matched. Yes, Samurai have much more experience, but TRUERIPPERs, they're the new kids around the block who have a lot of experience under their belts.
Yeah, I mean, TrueRipper Esports and Samurai Esports, every single time you see their games, they're just the absolute titans you would look out for as well. And TrueRipper Esports, they themselves have a lot of firepower. Samurai Esports, they just are always always putting up the big W on the board. So there's no doubt about that as well. So it truly is going to be that close matchup that we are looking forward to, TrueRipper Esports and Samurai Esports. And I guess this might just go the distance. Moving on towards the second half of the day, which is going to be the esports team versus Velocity Gaming, another matchup that we all are looking forward to. So pretty excited for that one as well. But for the match at hand, TrueRipper Esports versus Samurai Esports, what do you think, Salty? What are your expectations out of this game?
Samurai Esports, they look to be the top dogs here, but again, we've seen them kind of give away maps a bit too easily. So therefore, TrueRippers, they do have a chance to kind of put up a strong performance against them, expecting it to go to the distance, expecting it to kind of go to the third map, and maybe, something can happen as well. I mean, TrueRippers, they can certainly take the best of 3 series, but then nothing is really certain, right? I mean, Samurai Esports, they've been a bit sketchy. TrueRippers, they've been up and coming, so well, God knows what's going to happen. I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. We all are, to be honest. Can't really wait to see what TrueRippers have in store as well against Samurai Esports, because Samurai Esports, we know for a fact that they are the team to possibly go ahead and overthrow TrueRipper Esports as well. But TrueRipper Esports, they themselves have been fiddling around their entire lineup. But before jumping into all of that, let's quickly jump straight into the MVP standings and see what exactly is the story over there. Because it's very important to bring up the MVP standings, and it's very important to highlight the player with the name of Paradox, who is a player for TrueRipper Esports and is sitting at the 4th spot right now. So, Aggressive, what are your thoughts on the MVP standings?
I feel as if Paradox is able to get both of the MVPs down over onto map number 1 and also map number 2, and possibly down over onto map number 3. He's going to shoot up to the number 1 position. And I'm very sure that Godlike, they don't really have any more games present. So Deathmaker, he's stuck on that one singular position. The same going for the side of Global, and same also going for the side of Force 1. So at this point, they could actually go on down, or Paradox can go on down over to the number 1 position and take away the MVP standings. But at the same time, we really need to see what the group standings are going to be like to see moving on down forward. Maybe will they get going on down over onto playoffs or not?
So let's quickly jump on straight towards the group standings, and let's see what exactly is the entire battleground for TrueRipper Esports as well. What are they fighting for? And it looks like that they are fighting for survival here. If they go ahead and lose out the specific game, I guess it might just be a problem for them. Not really sure how exactly that works, because see, Samurai Esports, they are sitting at the 3rd spot right now with 4 wins, 2 losses, and a total of 9 points. And TrueRipper Esports are sitting at 6th spot with four losses, 2 wins, and 6 points. Salty, do you want to go ahead and give us your insight on the entire Group B standings?
I guess Samurai Esports, they'll have an opportunity to kind of climb up to that 11th point positioned right just below Enigma Gaming. For sure, there is going to be no upshifts in terms of their positioning. I guess they will be in the third spot, but considering that esports team also have a game against Velocity Gaming, they don't really want to go down right. If Samurai lose this particular game and esports team win, on the other hand, I guess they will fall down to the fourth position. But on the other side, for team True Rippers, I don't really see any danger for them, and because sure, there is a 3 point difference between them and RG Academy, and the fact that Team Fangs is just 1 point ahead of them kind of gives them the opportunity to overtake that and take the number 5 spot for them. But again, like talking about Samurai Esports, the ball will be on their court to prove their mettle and again prevent the ascent of Team Esports team.
Yeah, I mean, see, esports team, they've got a match against Velocity Gaming today, and if they can try and eke out a victory over there, they might just take the third spot from the hands of Samurai Esports. If Samurai Esports get a defeat here against True Ripper Esports, so it's all the case of ifs and buts. But aggressive, what are your thoughts on the group standings?
When I look at the group standings at this point, the side of True Rippers, they're in absolutely no danger. There's no way are going to be heading on down over to relegation. There is no way they can head on down over onto playoffs. But at the same time, as I was talking about the MVP standings, it's all about Paradox getting those MVPs and getting himself towards that number one position. Because we know for a fact that he wants to get to that number one spot. He wants those prizes and he wants to showcase to everyone what he can do when it comes down to his raw fragging potential. But at the same time, I feel as though this is a match with absolutely no stakes. So at this stage, I feel as though we're going to see a lot of spicy strategies and a couple of deep strats as well coming out from both of these teams.
I mean, we're expecting Tour Ripper Esports to take it a little bit seriously. If they can just put this win, they can easily, go above Team Fangs as well. So, yeah, I mean, if they can just play it seriously, if they can just get this victory against Samurai Esports, then not only are they going to achieve that position above Team Fangs, but they're also going to sort of it's going to be a feel good moment for them, right? To go ahead and take down a titan like Samurai Esports. So let's hope that Tour Ripper Esports don't goof around, they don't play around, and they seriously take matters into their own hands and just go ahead and take that victory as well. So let's quickly move on over towards the team intro now, coming out from the side of Samurai Esports first, because Samurai Esports, we want to see what exactly their roster is looking like and how exactly they've prepped themselves up for the specific match against team TRUERIPPERS Esports. So Ion Q, Wimp, Psy, Excali, and Blackhawk. And Blackhawk, I'm a big fan of his Astro play, and to be honest, Samurai Esports as a whole, they are looking like a far better team than TRUERIPPERS Esports, and the way they play around on different maps, right? The amount of strategy that they bring on the board as well, I guess, truly speaks for itself. So, Aggressive, what are your thoughts on Samurai Esports and their entire lineup?
Samurai Esports as a team, they have so much dynamic between all of their players that you can't really put their team synergy and their coordination and of course their potential into words. You need to see them play and you need to see it to believe it every single time. They are like the literal Japanese warriors that they are named after. They're samurais. They are going to tear you down no matter what happens, and constantly they're going to showcase what they can do on that server. We can see aggressive plays coming on down through from the side of Psy and Excali, and of course the support potential from the side of Wimp and Blackhawk. They already know what to do and they already know how to set up their teammates for the best possible engagement. And honestly, if the side of Samurai are able to bring their A game down to the table up against the side of True Rippers, they're going to be in a pretty tough spot trying to go in for this win and pushing themselves over to the number 5 position from that 6th spot.
True that. And to be honest, Samurai Esports, like we call them the Deadly Warriors as well, right? They are the tough warriors who just go ahead and pull themselves out of whatever situation they are going to find themselves in. We know for a fact, most of the times, Samurai Esports, they don't have the best of the starts. Like they kind of mess up on the pistol round and the round following that. And sometimes they just go ahead and lose out a couple of rounds in a streak. But then they just somehow, out of the blue, they just try and find a way out of that mess that they're in, and they just get themselves into victory. So Samurai Esports, truly the warriors that they are, we are expecting them to put up a fight against TRUERIPPERS Esports, a fight that TRUERIPPERS Esports are going to be scared to take. But yeah, TRUERIPPERS Esports, they themselves are the Rippers. So we are going to look into their team intro as well. But before that, a quick look at the player spotlight from the side of Samurai Esports and to see who exactly is going to be the player. Going to stand out from their side, and there you go. Talk about the devil, and the devil's here. Blackhawk, the Astro player from the side of Samurai Esports. Just look at the stats, man. I'm stoked. Like, how can someone just find that perfect balance between utility usage and kills as well? Like, Salty, do you want to shed some light on this?
Yeah, I mean, we were discussing about this last day, right? You have to find the perfect balance between utility usage as well as finding kills, and Blackhawk has done that, and more importantly so, because Blackhawk generally, especially with the Astra, kind of loves to flank for his team, and finding those kills as well as supporting the team with the utility, especially after deploying those stars, and then instantly going in for the gravity wells and etc etc. It's really important for him to time those perfectly, and alongside that, to time his flank to perfection is something which this player has done. We have seen his potential with the gun as well. This man is a madman when it comes to clicking those heads, and those 204 kills and 207 deaths just is testament to the fact, and 192 combat score is certainly breathtaking. Again, a lot of responsibility will be on his shoulders, but I'm a big advocate of the fact that it's not just a single player. So I'm expecting a lot to come from Wimp and IronQ as well.
But the thing is that Blackhawk, right? Right off the bat, when the match just starts up, it's like him going ahead and getting himself onto double digits quickly than all of the other players and the fraggers in the team as well. So that is where we're all just shocked to see, like, Blackhawk, what are you doing? Like, just calm down. It's okay. It's completely fine. Your teammates, they're also here. Just don't go ahead and steal the light for yourself. But yeah, jokes aside, Blackhawk, to be honest, I've seen a lot of boasters in our country. To be honest, we have got Hellfighter, we've got Blackhawk himself. So all of these guys, they love to come in with these late round flangs, and I absolutely love to see these flanks. But at the same time, Blackhawk does it a little bit differently. Like, he knows the timing to when he's supposed to push, when he's supposed to retreat, and sometimes we do see a lot of astral plays being made by the other players in the country as well. But most of the times they are kind of wrong when it comes down to the timings. But Blackhawk, he just knows how to do it. It's like he was born to play Astro or something like that, and he does it beautifully as well. So yeah, with that, we are pretty much done with the intro and the player spotlight for the side of Samurai Esports. Now let's get on towards True Ripper Esports. Let's get on to their team intro and see what exactly their lineup is like. Because I'm pretty sure that Aggressive has a lot to sort of talk about True Ripper Esports as well. Crosshair, Relic, Paradox, One Tap God, and Master. So, Aggressive, take it away.
Honestly, True Rippers as a team has one single flaw, and that is momentum. Whenever this team has momentum, there is no way to stop them. Just as their names say, they're the Rippers, and they're going to tear through the entire server every single time if you let them start winding up and get into the spot that they're most comfortable in to shut you down. But then on the flip side of it, if you're able to shut them out right at the very beginning, take out the pistol round, take away the anti-eco, and then take away the first buy round, True Rippers, they become a lot more tame. They feel a lot more confused, and they are not able to adapt as quickly to a lot of the different strategies that could be coming on down from their side. I love this. Love the fact that as a team, True Rippers, they're absolutely amazing when it comes down to their dynamic as players. They know exactly what to do. They know exactly how to take a lot of their different engagements. They know how to take those aim duels, and they can perform to their fullest potential as individual players. But as a team, they're just a little bit more lackluster. Sometimes it feels as though there's nothing that can stop them, and their team dynamic is absolutely beautiful. But on other rounds, it feels as though there is a massive disconnect between the players, with Paradox dashing in a little bit too early, Masters going out by himself, or One Tap God trying to go in for a play that is very much questionable. And I'm really hoping that the side of True Rippers can try and reel themselves back in, primarily because of one thing. Against the side of Samurai, making these type of mistakes could just be your downfall, not for just one map, but for the entire set as well.
True that. So we are expecting each and every individual from the side of True Esports to just perform together as a unit, because we know for a fact that sometimes it's just a crosshair show, sometimes it's a one tap god show, sometimes it's a
Yep.
relic show. So let's hope that together as a unit they just come in and take this victory against Samurai Esports. I really want to see some interesting plays being made by One Tap God, and maybe they can just play around with One Tap God and Paradox's agent roles, because we do see for a fact that sometimes One Tap God just reigns supreme on certain maps on the jet, whereas Paradox doesn't. So hopefully they just take the right call and they just make the correct changes as well. So yeah, let's quickly head on over to the player spotlight and see who exactly is going to be the player from the side of TrueRipper Esports who is going to be standing out today. And it is going to be our lovely boy, Paradox, the MVP, with 297 kills, 268 deaths, 59 assists, and an ACS of 272. Salty, what are your thoughts on Paradox?
Just like Aggressive said right at the start of the MVP standings, that this show, this best of three, is going to be his platform to prove his mettle again. He will be our main man. I believe that Paradox will try and go for an opportunity to sneak that number one spot in the MVP standings. For sure, I mean, 297 kills is something which nobody has achieved as of yet, and a wonderful ratio in terms of kills and deaths and assists. And if you look at his combat score, 272, which is absolutely insane. The stats speak for themselves. He has been absolutely brilliant on the jet, but just like Aggressive said, the team is not a one man show. They need to kind of build that synergy up in terms of getting multiple rounds on their board. So yeah, I mean, expecting a lot from Paradox as an individual player, but more so from Team True Rippers, again, whose potential or whose performance is kind of like a blank slate to me. But I guess this match is going to clear things up a lot more.
Yeah, Paradox definitely always tends to, perform on the jet role, and he has his ways around the jet. So yeah, hopefully we expect him to just go ahead and play it out perfectly. Like in another tournament, we did see, Tripper Esports, they were just having a lot of fun. Paradox picked up the Sova and whatnot. So let's hope that that doesn't happen today. So they take
Yes.
this match seriously, and against Samurai Esports, they are going to be putting up quite a performance for sure. So we are all rooting for you guys as well, Tripper Esports. We definitely want you to put up a massive fight against Samurai Esports. And Samurai Esports, well, I don't think so. They need any sorts of wishes whatsoever because they every single time just go ahead and wreak havoc into the server as well. So with that, we are pretty much at the end of this specific analyst segment. I mean, uh, are we missing something, guys? Are we missing something?
Rapido.
Of course. I mean, how can we miss the map veto? I was kind of building that up as well. So let's quickly go ahead and check what kind of maps are we going to be seeing today being played in the specific best of three as well. So Ascent, Haven, and Split. Interesting. Picked by
Hmm.
True Esports is going to be Ascent. Haven is going to be picked by Samurai Esports, not surprised. And Split is going to be the decider. I'm definitely surprised with that because Samurai Esports and Draper Esports, both of them, kind of avoid Split, if I'm not wrong. I'm pretty sure that, Draper Esports wanted Icebox in there, but maybe Samurai Esports just went ahead and, ban it out as well. You never really know. But Aggressive, what are your thoughts on the map veto, buddy?
When you consider these two teams, their map vetoes are very much similar when you consider which maps they're the most proficient on, other than being the one thing of Icebox, as you just stated. Both of these teams really do hate Split, but it's going to be the side of True Rippers who are going to hate Split just a tiny little bit more because on this map in particular, you need a lot more team play and coordination. But we'll talk about map number 3 later. The primary thing that I really want to highlight is map number 1 being Ascent here, Assassin. And the fact that True Rippers have taken Ascent right on the get go, going up against a team of Samurai Esports' caliber, it's a little bit questionable because Bind would have been that better choice, but Ascent, I'm really interested to see how the side of Ripper Esports have anti-stratted all of the strategies coming on down through from the side of Samurai for map number 1, because Ascent is a map where Samurai can just absolutely dominate if you are not able to adapt to a lot of their strategies.
True that. So Ascent is going to be a map where we might just see an even ground coming out from both of these teams, right? Because True Ripper Esports, we know how good they are on the map of Ascent. Samurai Esports have a way to work around on the map of Ascent as well. But I would ask you this, Salty, what do you think about the map of Haven?
Again, I mean, Samurai Esports, they're pretty good on that particular map, to be honest, because sure, True Rippers, they pick defense, but being on the attacking side, it is going to kind of enable Samurai Esports to get some early rounds on board, which should be enough for them to get the second map. But it kind of all boils down to what happens on Ascent, because I mean, fortunately, I've seen Team Samurai Esports being absolutely flawless on Ascent and demolish teams, but I've also seen them kind of throw away games from a winning position on that same map of Ascent. It all comes down to that first map, what happens, and I guess followed that is going to be the Haven game, where I feel like Samurai Esports will have an early advantage considering the map is a bit attacking sided, but then It all comes down to what the True Ripper defense looks like. And then I guess Samurai Esports, they'll have the ball on their court to kind of figure out a strategy mid-game to deal with Team True Rippers.
Completely agree to you on that, by the way. Because the thing is that, see, on the map of Ascent, we might just see it possibly going into the favor of Tripper Esports as well. You never really know. It can go into the favor of Samurai Esports as well, but we know for a fact that on the defense, Tripper Esports just stand a little bit out with all of their defense strategy, and of course, Relic holding down a particular side. So we're expecting Tripper Esports to somehow put up a massive difference on the scoreboard when it comes down to their defense side as well. They have to go ahead and take the lead in order to sort of give that fight to Samurai Esports as well. But on the map of Haven, again, both of these teams have their ways of working around Haven, but I guess Samurai Esports might just have some sort of a better strategy because I've seen Samurai Esports do
Yeah.
newer things, multiple tournaments. So I guess Samurai Esports, they might just have a bit of an edge on that specific map as well. But I'm expecting this to go all the distance, so I wish you guys all the best to go ahead and cause this exhilarating, exciting best of three as well. With that, we come to an end of our pre-match analysis, guys. Hope you guys got a lot of insight as well. More insights are going to be provided into the caster's desk and the match as well by our casters, Salty and Aggressive. Before I take your leave, I would like to give out a huge shout out to our sponsors, WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon, for making the TEC Gauntlet possible. Please do check out all the links down in the description below, provided by our sponsors. You guys can get some exclusive deals for your next big upgrade, so please go ahead and check it out. And also, like and share if you guys want to make everyone aware of this amazing best of three matchup between both of these teams. Get all the Valorant lovers in here because it definitely is going to be a banger one. You guys are watching the TEC Gauntlet Season 1 part by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. We're going to be right back with the caster's desk after the message from our sponsors.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. And we made the run down over from the analysis desk over to the caster desk this time around here, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Salty being my co-host coming on down through. And honestly, I'm excited for this matchup. It's going to be Samurai going up against the side of TRUERIPPERS. So let's head on down over to the map video screen once more to get a refresher of where we're going to be heading down forward for the battleground between these teams. And when you consider the map of Ascent to be the real starting here, Salty, I want your thoughts on Ascent because I gave my personal opinion. I want yours now.
I mean, I said this in the analyst desk as well, right? I've seen Samurai Esports kind of evolve their gameplay on Ascent. Sure, they had a very sketchy start to when they first started out and first experimented with different agents on Ascent. But once they I remember casting one match for Samurai Esports where they kind of threw away from a winning position on the map of Ascent. But ever since then, Team Samurai Esports have become, or rather, I would say, evolved into a Team Samurai Esports 2.0 because they literally hate giving away rounds on this map, and they're pretty flawless in terms of, in terms of their setup, in terms of their executes. They're pretty flawless on Ascent. Comes down to whether it's a good day for them or no, but I can't really predict if they will be able to execute their strats on against TRUERIPPERS, of course, but considering their position, considering their stakes on the map of Ascent, I feel like they have a decent chance of picking this up. And surprisingly enough, Team TRUERIPPERS, this is their map pick. So I was rather surprised that Team TRUERIPPERS didn't just ban Ascent right off the bat because Team Samurai Esports, they're pretty strong on this one.
I feel sad that there is no KO still forward tournament play. You just gotta wait a little bit longer. Soon enough in Season 2, I'm gonna be able to see the KO coming on down in. And a lot of the teams just flashing each other into the next dimension. And then I'm gonna be seeing possibly Biggs coming on down through with a showstopper. And one of the opposition KOs are just gonna throw a knife. And Biggs is oh no. I want that.
That is a disaster. That is a raised disaster, honestly. Imagine waiting for those 8 ultimate points and then coming in, charging in with your double satchels, with your big bad rocket launcher, and the other KOs like press E. And you're like, bro.
Yeah, that's just like that bruh moment. But just as the bruh moment we were talking about, it's a little bit more of a bruh moment here on the map of Ascent as well. Because we're going to be seeing Sai going onto a Sky pick and a double initiator composition on the map of Ascent here. Salty, this is really spicy, that's for sure.
This is certainly spicy aggressive because I have sort of seen Team Samurai Esports go very heavily, kind of depend very heavily on the information, and therefore the double initiative does not surprise me a bit. And honestly, Sai and Xcali has been experimenting with different agents. We know them to be kind of go for those flashy duelist picks and try and go for the kills. But lately enough, Sai and Xcali, they've tried a lot of different agents over the past few days. So I feel like Sai on the Sky is going to be a very influential character, especially couple it up with Wim, who is a phenomenal Sova. I'm expecting a lot of information gathering from Team Samurai Esports, and when they do have that information to work with, I believe that Xcali as well as IronQ as well as Blackhawk, they're going to be pretty much enough to kind of nullify everything that the opponent team has on this map.
Scali's got that weird hairstyle going on down.
Look at Paradox.
He's like that full band. He's got that full band on, and he is ready to tear through the entire server. And honestly, Samurai Esports, they're gunning for that play to happen already. And I'm very sure they're waiting right out of that spawn doors to go in for that action almost immediately. But as we were talking about what we could expect coming on down through from the side of TRUERIPPERS, looking at their composition, it just feels a little bit more one-dimensional because of that Omen. They're lacking a lot when it comes down to the utility department, so they're relying purely on their gunfight. So I don't know how the side of the universe are going to be going in for a lot of these different plays. And just as I was talking about Jet, look at all over the map. The side of Samurai Esports, they just tore through everyone in a matter of 2 seconds.
Yeah, in a matter of a few seconds, only one player remains. One tap god. He'll have a lot of responsibility. Though he does have the frenzy to kind of take a few players down, but nah, that's not enough.
Yeah, that frenzy's not gonna be helping out much down onto the back end. And with that, the round just started and it's already over. How fast was that round? Barely 40 seconds, I believe, Rip?
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. It probably was. But I mean, good stuff from them, right? Getting that early round advantage, Team Samurai Esports. This is something which you want from Team Samurai Esports because they tend to rely a bit on momentum as well, just like you mentioned for Team True Rippers. If things go south for Team Samurai Esports early on, they kind of take a little bit of time to get back into the game. And this time around, I guess Team True Rippers will just try and go YOLO on the B aggression. We do have the Spectres on board, and INQ already takes down one-time bot.
Oh my god, Paradox, you just don't do that to a person. Goes right in front of the face of Whip, and he's gonna be able to take down one. And with that, it is gonna be a massive play coming on now from the side of Ripper's. Shots are gonna be going on in. Excali misses a couple, but he's still gonna be able to hit the one that really does matter. He's gonna be able to find out one, and Excali goes in for that revenge kill for his buddy Whip, but he's not gonna be able to find it out. Instead, it's gonna be IonQ activating himself on that Killjoy. And with that, it's a 2-0 scoreline, starting everything off, and the rounds are just starting here, Salty. And it's already over before we can even finish our commentary.
True that, it certainly was over. But again, good stuff from Team Samurai Esports, not given an inch of space to work with. Also good stuff from Team True Rippers to take down 2 players in the process and try and keep the economy, the Samurai Esports economy in check. Sure, they will have all the weaponry in the world to work with, but look at Sai and Vim, they're still holding on to their Spectres, right? It's going to be a bit hard for them to kind of battle those Phantoms and Vandals staring at them. But you talk about Samurai Esports, right? They look to be pretty settled in. Their defense looks pretty solid. Kelly, he falls back, but then Paradox will try and take that risky peek.
That's gonna hurt. Paradox, he's gonna be able to get himself down over towards the side or defender side at spawn, and this is gonna be a perfect position for him. Maybe if he gets his kill down onto Blackhawk, things are just gonna be a lot more better for him. But with that Trailblazer now spawning him out, Blackhawk just peeks around the corner, and he's like, oh, hello there, Paradox. I see you getting stunned out. I'm gonna go in for my play, I'm gonna go in for my swing, and I'm gonna shut you down. And with good help coming on down through from the side of Sai, they're going to be able to stabilize themselves and equalize the scoreline once again. But at the same time, looking at all the other members of the side of Samurai Esports, they're not in the perfect spot. Crosshair is going to be coming on down through from the side of Amy. He's going to be able to get one more kill for himself. But look at Blackhawk. This guy, he's not going to be missing out much. He's going to be going in left. He's going to be going in right and shutting down people before they can even take a breath. But the caster's curse, yeah, it's a little bit too real, just as I was talking about.
Yeah, but he still does have the opportunity to clutch it outside. No, Master's gonna shut him down. One bullet to the brain, which finished things off. But good round for Team True Rippers. They really, really needed this one. Isn't it aggressive?
Yeah, True Rippers really needed this to try and stabilize themselves. And them really being able to find this one out means that, hey, momentum is not fully going to be going in the favor of the side of Samurai Esports. And as I was talking about it previously over on the analyst desk, that them winning out on this round is a lot more crucial than them winning out on any of the other following rounds. Because if they're able to take round number 3 in their favor, basically means that, hey, they still have hope and they are still going to be ready to go in for a lot more of those renegations. But at the same time, they're not taking the right inside corner. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a massive misplay coming on down through from the side of TRUERIPPERS. And it's going to be Excali literally getting away with murder and an operator in his hands as well. What was that play there, Salty?
It was insane, but look at one position though. Relic already finds himself in that mid-aggressive position, right? He can definitely counter all the rotations coming in and all the reinforcements coming in. Blackhawk does not check that angle, kind of suffers over there. And Excali, if he gets this pick, it's going to be all even playing field, but then Relic will not over-aggress. He will fall back to the door region now. He has Sai waiting over there. The flash can be crucial, but then Relic can definitely make a lot of plays at this position.
Relic is in the perfect spot to go in for a couple of plays and maybe find that one initial kill, but he turns his back right at the wrong time. And it's gonna be Sai putting a bullet into the back of his brain. That's Sai! Did you just thread that needle so perfectly that you saw a pixel of Crosshair's head? Beautifully done. This is Sai for you, ladies and gentlemen. When he gets on that server, you know for a fact he's gotta pull off something flashy, otherwise he just can't sleep on it.
I mean, you expect that from Sai, right? I mean, he has been one of those flashy players, and he has the skill to back it up as well. It's not just like he goes ham with the weapon and does not reply kindly. But this time around, I guess Team Samurai Esports will be well positioned. The read on that is perfect because Team True Rippers, they have 3 players outside the B area, right? Risky. Excali Does not take that shot, surprisingly enough. I thought that he will go for the wall bang, but Blackhawk, look at the way he deletes Paradox, and he deletes Relic as well. It triples up on it. Cross has been taken down as well. IQ in prime position to shut down the aggression towards the A region, but now Team True Rippers, they don't really have a lot to work with.
Looking at the positioning as well here, Salty, it feels as though there's not much that the side of True Rippers can do. One tap god gets spotted out by Blackhawk as well, and honestly, it feels like an utter and complete shutdown when it comes down to map control for the side of True Rippers. They can't really move anywhere without the side of Samurai just being at their throats, and they're constantly being like, go back. You're not supposed to come here, you're supposed to go somewhere else. And if they go somewhere else, there's another member from the side of Samurai already ready to shut them down. And that's exactly what is happening. Excali baits out everyone with his operator shot, and they're like, hey, Excali is no longer gonna go in for that peek. We can just walk on down in, but Blackhawk's like, no. My buddy's watching one angle, I'm watching the other one, and you're coming into my crosshair, and I'm gonna headshot you down and over onto the next stage.
Through that. This time around again, Paradox finds himself again in that aggressive position in mid. Now, they are trying to make something happen from this mid control, right? True Rippers. They have got a lot of control over this, but Relic will be shut down instantly with that op. So the B main aggression from Samurai Esports did give them a lot of fruits, but that is not where True Rippers is going. They're trying to make something happen from the A short region. With 3 players already in, it's going to be a bit difficult for Blackhawk as well as IronQ to shut down this aggression. Oh.
This is just gonna get even harder moving on down the line, because look at Blackhawk and look at IonQ. They are like absolute sentinels holding down that side. IonQ, this guy and his crosshair placement, you have to give it to this man. This is just clean, crisp locks coming on down through every single time. And IonQ, he's just ready for it. This is his world, and we are living in it. As soon as you go down over towards that A side, there is nothing that you can do going up against this one man. He's gonna pop your head before you can even see his entire body.
You're right. I mean, a lot of people actually place a lot of bets on Psy and Excali and Blackhawk as well, but I've always said this, that Wimp and IronQ are one of the crispiest aimers in this team, and given the position, given good position, I guess they can deliver. Talking about one tap god, still trying to make something happen. IronQ will be involved in a early duel, but I don't think True Rippers can aggress too much on the A main region. Talking about mid, though, Excali has been forced out.
Yeah, poor Excali. He's just gone. There is nothing that you can do to try and save out that guy. You got stuck between a rock and a hard place, but at the same time, on the other side of the side, there's gonna be IronQ getting one more kill for himself, but with that, things are just gonna be stabilizing just a tiny little bit, but not too much, because Relic, he has an operator in his hands, and Paradox, he knows exactly where IronQ is gonna be holding on down, and turns around at the very last second, does a 180, and is able to slap a dagger straight into the forehead of IonQ. And with that size, the last person remaining, and all the members of the side of True Rippers, they can make a mad dash over towards the other side, get that spike line down, and play it safe, while Paradox and Relic, they're gonna hold down the fort, and they're gonna make sure that Sai gets nowhere close to trying to go into this position.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing that Sai can pull off at this point is probably drop a few weapons on the opposite camp, right? They've pretty much kept it clean. True Rippers just still have those 4 players alive, and Paradox, he will give no opportunity to Sai. Just slaps that dagger, just like you mentioned, on the forehead. But yeah, good comeback from True Rippers, because Team Samurai Esports, they kind of look like they were rolling out of the competition for True Rippers, but you know, keeping it clean and getting these few rounds and jabbing back at Samurai Esports and returning something back at them again is something which is going to keep this match pretty interesting, and probably it can go down the wire.
I'm gonna ask you your opinion about the Ruination Dagger, because it's not even a dagger. I literally call it a great sword at this point. I just been staring at the sword for the entire duration of your talking, Salty, and I'm really sorry, but I just love that great sword. It looks so beautiful.
I mean, imagine a knife being replaced by a sword, but I absolutely love the animation. I kind of feel like it covers too much of the screen, but this time around, talking about the game, True Rippers, 2 players outside the A side. The spike is in mid, which can be a bit risky, because most of the time Excali is taking those peaks right towards the mid-top region. So good stuff from him, changing his positioning and really keeping Team True Rippers on their toes. But if Master peeks out, it wouldn't be too long before he's completely dead.
But at the same time, you do need to consider something. The fact that Excali is moving around so much, it's
Yeah.
going to be a little bit of a problem when it comes down to trying to hit that shot. It's always important for the operator player to be very decisive in the angle that he's holding. Otherwise, you could just get caught off guard and immediately your opponent's going to go in for a swing and you're just
Yeah.
not going to be ready to take that shot. But at the same time, it feels that all of the members coming on down through from the side of the attack are making their way down over towards that B side. But look at what is happening down deep inside of both house. The two members are holding it down strong. And Excali! He does get caught off guard by one tap got it down in the backup side. Will they be able to hold down the fort? Is the real question. But against Crosshair, nah, I don't think so. This guy, he's just ready for you. And every single time you go in for a swing, every single time you go in for a peek, there is nothing that can stop Crosshair from sending up bullets straight into your skull. And with that, Sai, once again, last person remaining. Yeah, he's just gonna make a mad dash towards the A side and maybe try and save this.
Good stuff from Team Samurai Esports to sort of pay respects to Team True Rippers. They gave a lot of respect, right? When they saw that all 5 players are trying to brute force their way in, they fell back, but couldn't really press the accelerator on the retake. But the best part about True Rippers is that they are mixing things up really well, right? They weren't really focusing on that mid control early on in the game, but this time around they are actually doing that, and that adds another dynamic to the entire aggressive play, which sort of enabled them to get so many rounds on a trot. Again, they need to continue doing this, but knowing Samurai Esports, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna read onto it if they don't, innovate even further. So Team True Rippers, they have to be constantly on their toes. I feel like good strategies have to come in one after the other. Otherwise, Samurai Esports, they are very good in adapting and overcoming the opposition.
Completely agree with you there that Samurai Esports, they can constantly switch up their strategies and they can try something different to go up against the side of Rippers. But it feels as though Samurai, they're constantly going in for a lot more of these aggressive plays, more than they should. And sometimes they're going in for too much of a defensive play. They need to find that perfect middle ground in my eyes. Otherwise, things are just not going to be working out properly against the side of True Rippers. And with Crosshair now finding that first initial hit almost immediately over towards the side of Iron Cube, he now has no more armor. He's very close to dying on out almost instantly with Paradox. He's holding him down strong with his own operator, maybe going for a swing, maybe going for a peek, but he's not expecting INQ to hold down over towards that right side. He gets sacked down to only 67 HP, barely surviving with the skin of his teeth. He's gonna be able to run on back, and with all the callouts going on down through that, there are 3 members holding on down towards that A side. This is gonna be a fast push down towards the side of B, but towards that B side, it's gonna be Wimp being able to take down Relic, but immediately gets traded out by Masters. And with this, there is a stabilization when it comes down to manpower, with Excali getting one more kill down towards the side of the
Yeah, it's certainly a 4v3, but it can work out on the side of Team True Rippers if they get that side control right, and they have it. The retake certainly will be very important for Team Samurai Esports, but the fact that Omen has been taken down to almost like, or what, 26 HP, it's going to be a bit difficult for Team Samurai. It's going to be a bit difficult for Team True Rippers to hold this fort down. Look at this, though. I mean, a lot of responsibility will be on Master's shoulders. He needs to take at least one of them.
no! Oh no!
Wait, what? Master? He finally gets the Astro. I was like, wait, why isn't he shooting him down? But Excali, he's find a way to end his side. Wait, will he get the kill? He gets Crosshair, completely blows his skull apart. True Rippers is still holding down Paradox with the op. It's going to be a bit difficult. Jet up drops as well as Dasher, and he will get completely detained. Yeah, the KG ultimate was there as well, and Excali, he gets his 4th.
At this point, Salty, the biggest question mark in my eyes was that I understand you wanted to go in for that lockdown. Why didn't you push it immediately? You should have gone for the push going up against the side of Paradox, and Paradox, he just played the time beautifully. But at the very end of it all, I have to give it to Masters to get an off-guard kill down on the Blackhawk. An absolute comical moment going on down through, but at the very end of it all, it felt as though Samurai Esports, they were playing it a little bit too scared. They could have just gone in for that push. They could have easily taken over the entire side because of their manpower, but the fact that they didn't want to try and push the side of True Rippers, yeah, a little bit of a big question mark in my eyes. But hey, no harm, no foul. They're still going to be able to stabilize. They're still going to be able to play it smart and play it strongly because Excali, he's still ready.
Wow.
And he's able to get a kill for himself. Will he be able to get that triple? Not really, because he doesn't have the HP to work with. And with that, it's pretty much already over. Shots going in left, shots going in right. It's going to be Blackhawk good for 1, but not more than that with Masters. He's gonna be able to even things up, getting a double kill for his own team. And with that, it's a 2 versus 2 situation. And Relic and Masters, they're the last players remaining. And Wim's position is already known. Relic, he heard the footsteps and he heard the drop sound, basically meaning that, hey, Wim needs to be playing somewhere near from the side of Speedway. So let's take the ultimate orb and go down over to that A side using from the shadows from the side of the orb.
Yep. The trade game from both these teams have been phenomenal, right? I mean, I've never really seen a team just getting kills right off the bat and just getting away with it. Sometimes Excali has done that, but most of the times it is always like getting 2 kills and then being trade out instantly. This time around, Wimp, he gets away with 1. The recon dart is going to force the issue towards
30
Master
seconds
that he cannot peek aggressively, but the spike is still on him and he's still trying to make a B execute happen. Good stuff from INQ, honestly, that he's still holding down the A side, but Master, he gets his 3rd, but I guess Wimp has done enough because he got 1 player on the form of Relic and now he's boiled HP from Master down to 28. Yeah, he does have that, but INQ wouldn't give him the opportunity to execute that.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt just a tiny little bit because when you have that paranoia, you should have played it a little bit more defensively. Maybe using your Omen teleports to go on down around over towards the side of Speedway once again. Wait for INQ to make that first initial mistake and then use that paranoia to get the off-guard kill down onto him. Things would have been a lot more different. Master could have played it a little bit more differently as well. But hey, it's tomato, tomato, potato, potato. So at that stage, it's
wait,
like...
what?
Yeah, a lot of people say it like that, but it's kind of like a saying.
Okay.
So
Alright.
it's either Master could have done this or Master could have done that, but hey, in those high pressure scenarios, you're not always gonna be able to get that right play every single time. And at this point, Masters, I don't think he was expecting INQ to come on down through from the side of defender side at spawn. So no harm, no foul, I would say. Moving on down forward over towards the 11th round on the board, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be the advantage going on down through for the side of Samurai Esports, but at the same time, it's not a big lead. It's only a 2-round lead, and this could easily go down to a 6-6 in a matter of seconds. But it all really does depend on how the side of TRUERIPPERS are approaching this engagement, because look at Master's positioning. He has an aggressive position holding on down over towards the side of A short. So this could work out in their favor if Relic is able to get the skill, and he's going to be able to shut down Excali. And with this first initial pickoff, it is going to be the floodgates opening for the side of TRUERIPPER Esports, and they're making that push happen. They're heading on down over towards that B side, but they need to be careful because Whip is holding down that corner.
Wow.
And he's going to be able to get 2 kills. The sprayed out just 1 point, and Whip, he's just ready for that.
Gate shot. Master instantly teleports to the defender spawn. He can make a play happen, especially with the jet over there, and double up with the Reyna, almost positioning himself to get this spike and making something happen
30
from B
seconds
main as
left.
well, but he needs to be very careful of Sai. Sai actually gets Master down. That is 1 player down on the board already. Paradox will try and isolate these players. He gets Wim, but get instantly traded out. INQ is very much on his tippy toes right now. Last player survives. 1-tap god already makes his way on the side, so he will get the spike planted, which can grant him a little bit of the money, but I don't think it is going to be a very successful retake. Gets 1. And yeah, Samurai Esports, it is certainly a very successful retake. 1 player loss in the process, but I don't think they're going to be pretty much hurt with it.
Yeah, 1-tap god, he is going to be able to pop that Empress and get a kill, but he's not going to be able to get that dismiss on time. So
Last
with that,
round in
things
the
have
half.
stabilized a lot more down towards for the side of Samurai Esports. They're able to take it down to a 7-4, and if they're able to take it down to 8-4, I really do believe that their raw utility should be able to get them a lot of consecutive rounds down towards their own attacking side, because that's where the utility becomes a lot more stronger, because it allows your team to execute down over onto multiple sides with a lot more ease, because not only do you have that flash to go in for fake executions, you have 2 initiators, so you can split your approach down towards multiple sides and see which place you are going to be able to get that first initial pick off, and it's all really dependent on that first initial pick whenever you're playing for so much utility. But at the same time, they need to be careful, because the side of TRUERIPPERS, they're ready to go in for an execution down towards that B side, but when he's just already ready for it, he's like, hey, I have a 100 Fury, let me get a little bit of information for us. But all the members of the side of TRUERIPPERS, they're going to be able to dodge those shots and go down over towards that B side. But smart play from the side of Samurai as well. Look at all of their members, they're opting to play it for a retake instead, and this is super smart coming on down from them.
True that Samurai Esports have always been respecting the opposition. Pixel from one tap guard, but no X-Cat. He fucking finds him, but couldn't really double that onto Master. 1-for-1 trade. The flash comes in. Master will force a win, being perfect. A barrage of utility. Huntsfield comes in as well. Relic, he gets win, but then Sai comes in from the other side. Look at the Astral Divide completely isolating the boathouse. This can be very crucial. They might not even get a lot of sound cues as well. Cross the peak. Stuff that gives us a position. What? What around was that?
It's called the judge supremacy here, Salty. And I'm very sure that
I
all the other
believe in the judge
members...
supremacy.
Yes, you have to believe in the judge supremacy coming on down through, and I'm very sure that all of the members down towards the side of Samurai Esports, they're really salty. No offense, man, but still, they have to be really salty because
Need a drop.
at this stage, yeah, I'm just sad at this point. Samurai Esports, they shouldn't have lost out their round whatsoever, but it's the judge, man. You can't go up against that gun. There's no way. The judge is our Lord and Savior, and Ryan, he's fixed.
True that, but I mean,
Keep up.
imagine having all the information in the world, right? The Astral Divide was sort of perfect. There was no information being given, the diffuse, the sound cues, everything was blocked, but then comes in Paradox and he just taps them, casually takes 3 kills. And Samurai Esports, they must be feeling robbed at this point. 7-5, which is certainly a very respectable score for both the sides, but I guess Team TRUERIPPERS will be happy. What do you think about it? I guess especially after the first round when Samurai Esports got almost like 5 rounds on the bat of it, getting the half like 7-5 is a very decent scoreline.
It's a very decent scoreline to say the very least. Both of these teams are going to be happy, but at the same time, I'm very sure that after such a loss coming on down through from the side of Samurai on that last round in particular, it could be a massive hit for them moving on down on that long round, and I think the massive hit is already there. Next Scally straight through that smoke. A little bit unlucky, gets caught off guard by Paradox, opting to go in for that spam, and that is what Shiro, ladies and gentlemen, Blackhawk is going to be good for what, though, being able to take down Masters, who had his pants down, trying to go in for that smoke, but at the same time, Crosshair, he's still ready, and the spam is just going on down through all over the place, through the smoke kills going in left, through the smoke kills going in right, but IronQ is going to be able to break that chain, and he's going to be able to take down Paradox at the bare minimum, but at the same time, look at Relic's position, he spots out the gun barrel, he's going to be good for 1, he's going to be good for 2, Relic! That instant lock straight to the forehead. It's gonna be the side of TRUERIPPERS being able to take us down to a 7-6 scoreline, inching closer towards that even Steven scoreline that we were expecting to come on down through a lot earlier.
The mighty Cypher. I mean, imagine just being so calm and composed about getting those 2 kills, right? I mean, IronQ was already down to like what, about like 10-12 HP to work with, but he still managed to get a headshot. He managed to turn around and double up on a Wimp as well. That is where Team Samurai Esports truly lost that round. Their aggression onto the B side wasn't really working out, but I'm pretty sure we've talked about this earlier. Samurai Esports is pretty adaptive. They're gonna try out different stuff. We'll try and understand the defensive setup. Again, Paradox casually tapping 2-player down. Crosshair with the Spectre is going to get a 3rd for himself. Samurai Esports are already on the back foot in this round, and that's okay, I guess, because this was their eco round. Thankfully enough, they get the information that they place 1 player in the mid. 1 player will for sure go aggressive on the A-shot region as well. So this is a lot of crucial information which they can in fact use in the rounds which they buy the weapons. But good stuff from Team TRUERIPPERS because they're keeping their foot on the gas and they're not letting Team Samurai Esports breathe and not letting that economy, build up as well.
Yeah, at this stage, the side of Samurai not being gonna be able to try and stabilize themselves, but at the same time, I'm kind of worried because I see a judge in the hands of Paradox again, and you know how I feel about this, Salty. That judge, it scares me.
This goes here.
It gives me PTSD, man.
Especially after what he has done, especially after what he's pulled off, but Paradox, he's in prime position. IronQ, if he goes in aggressive, it can be a bit sad. I mean, honestly, we've seen Excali do that. We've seen him push out the B main region quite a lot, and sometimes it has proved to be very fatal for Team Samurai Esports. Sometimes it has proved to be very good for them as well. So it's a topsy-turvy positioning, but Blackhawk, again, finding their positioning onto the mid side is going to clear out a lot more angles. Even Sai is pretty close on that A-shot region as well. So they might be looking for an A-shot execute, especially if they yet managed to make something happen from the A main region as well. Then they can double up from both the angles. On the east side, does not check Master.
Oh,
This can
no,
be
Master.
disastrous.
Oh,
One
no.
pair. He actually thinks one, but couldn't really get the kill. But that is okay because information has been relayed. And look at Blackhawk's positioning. This is just insane. That man could come in from behind, completely shut down the aggression. That one tap got 2 frags. Sai gets one. Is only good for one over there. 2v4. It's going to be a bit difficult. Blackhawk comes
no,
in. No,
Blackhawk.
it's on the crosshair. That is all allowed.
30
But
seconds.
okay, Sai casually get 2 frags, but crosshair with the shock dart finds the third and finds around TRUERIPPERS. The first time in this match, they get the lead on the scoreboard.
Honestly, I nearly got flashbacks to what happened back in the invitationals. Because Sai, in that underheld position, he's like the literal demon. He is Lucifer himself. We call that hell for a reason, and that is Sai's domain. If he's sitting there, you know for a fact that he could have clutched out that round almost as easily. The shots were clean, the headshots were on point, but at the very end, we knew for a fact that Crosshair's like, no, I don't want to deal with Sai whatsoever. I have a shock dart in my hand. I'm going to pull that shock dart back and I'm going to send it straight into the face of Sai to take him on down out. Because going for gunfights against this man, when he is in his element, when he is in his own home turf, that's not something that you would expect. But at the same time, Paradox, he's on his own home turf as well. He has that judge and he could just send Nexcali back to spawn, and I'm very sure that Nexcali is going to be pretty salty if that happens.
Yeah, but I mean, good stuff from them to kind of go aggressive.
Oh,
but
never
Paradox
mind.
has been shut down
Nexcali.
completely over there. Relic finding the frag for his own, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. Good stuff over there, but Sai casually one tap god, ironically enough, but 2v2 this time around. It's going to be a bit towards on the Samurai Esports' camp, right? The odds are going to favor them, especially when
enemy
he just
remaining.
finds Crosshair completely with his pants down. 1v2 right now. Master completely stranded on the mid-market area, and Blackhawk will casually... I mean, this gunfight has been so crucial for them, Samurai Esports. The most of the times they have been very decisive with their guns, and they've been very dependent on the aim as well. They haven't really kind of whipped more shots, right? And that is something which is really important. You want people to kind of hit those headshots crisp and clean, and they've done that. So they have one aspect of their game covered. Talking about the strategy part of it, that is when TRUERIPPERS are also pretty good. So that is the reason why I feel this game is still so neck and neck.
And in my eyes, I can already see that, hey, a lot of these pushes that are happening are really clean and they're really smart, but at the same time, they need to try and stabilize just a little bit more. They need to try and go in for a lot more of those different strategies to maybe go in for a play that gives them that small level of advantage, but it's just not there. The fact that TRUERIPPERS are not able to stabilize themselves properly, they're not going to be able to get that operator online for the side of Paradox fast enough. I'm very sure this time around, as Paradox does reconnect, we're going to see an operator in his hand, but at the same time, one tap god, he's not going to be able to go in for a proper buy. So at this point, there is a dilemma. Do you want to invest a lot of money over onto Paradox so that he can just completely tear through the entire server, tear through the entire server? Or do you want to go in for much more of those consistent plays, giving one tap god that Vandal or that Phantom in his hand? So now it's the making of the choice from the side of TRUERIPPERS. It's either go big or go home for them, because they need to get this tiebreaker down and they need to win it as decisively as possible. Otherwise, they're not going to be in a pretty good position.
Yep. I mean, one good thing that Samurai Esports have done is that they have actually locked down the choke points, right? They have locked down the A-shot region, the market as well, and they've got that early side control. We've seen Paradox kind of push out very fast from that A main as well, from the B main region as well. So that man has a tendency to kind of push out with whatever weaponry he possesses, right? With the Judge, be it the Vandal, he does that. So I guess he has been pretty critical with it as well. It makes no sense to kind of go and reinvest on the operator. But if he is able to kind of nullify the mid-aggression that we're seeing from Samurai Esports, that operator can reap you a lot of benefits and a lot of rewards.
Completely agree with you there. That operator could just be that deciding factor for the side of TRUERIPPERS to completely change their dynamic. Or it could be the thing that just buries them down even deeper into debt. 4,700 credits. It's a massive investment moving on down forward. So how much will that investment really do for the side of the defenders is the real question. But at the same time, I really want to talk about the dynamic from the side of Samurai. As you can see that when it comes down to their raw executions, they're playing it a little bit too split here, Salty. And I believe that that's one of the primary reasons why the side of Samurai, they're falling a little bit too short going up against the side of TRUERIPPERS.
True that. I mean, it's sort of understandable that they try and split up at the start of the round. They want more information because that is one of the reasons why they have two initiatives, right? They base their play on that intel and kind of strategize it mid-round to get that early advantage. They don't have specific executes, right? Their gameplay is pretty disruptive and they make decisions on the fly, which works well. But when you lose this one, when you find yourself in 1v1 duels, especially when you split up, and you cannot fall back to safety and regroup as a 5-man team, that splits you down and that splits off your manpower. So I guess Samurai Esports can kind of think about it and try and regroup once again. I guess this break is going to give them enough time to kind of work that out. We still need to find out if they can execute that. But yeah, I mean, most of these players, they look to be pretty chill. And that's one good sign, honestly.
Yeah, they're just like calming things down. The nerves are going to be acting on up primarily because the 8-8 scoreline is something that you don't want. And I always talk about this as well. It's always really bad to be on those even Stevens because you want that tiebreaker. You want that break point for your side for that first initial pickup to come on down through. But that break point, as soon as you get it, it could just be a very massive problem down for your end. And as you can already see, this time around, we're going to be seeing Paradox pull out that operator. So a lot of the eyes are going to be going on down towards Paradox to maybe get a lot of value out of that operator. Otherwise, it's only you know what's going to happen. The
Absolutely.
entirety of the economy of the side of TRUERIPPERS. And now moving on down forward and onto the round start. Let's just see what we can expect coming on down through from the side of Samurai. And it feels as though they don't want to go in for that swing, and they've actually smoked up Paradox trying to pull down on that operator down onto that off angle. But a little bit of a bad flash coming on down from the side of side. That could just hurt, but at the same time, Paradox straight through that smoke. He's going to be able to take out Blackhawk. And that is going to be a beautiful kill indeed, ladies and gentlemen. The timing is going to be on point. Bastards is going to be good for one. He does get spotted out onto the back end though, but this is a double setup coming on down through. And Crosshair, he jumps at the wrong second. The mouse wheel, scroll wheel jump is something that will haunt every single player at the same time though. Look at Paradox's health. He has almost nothing to, well, not Paradox, I mean, one time got health. He has almost nothing to work with. Relic's gonna be climbing on in and getting a kill down on Excali as well, taking him twice in the head, and that's just gonna hurt a lot, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of misplays happening in one round, but at the very end of it all, it was the side of TRUERIPPERS being able to make full use of that operator right at the beginning of the round.
This was such a quick round, like you snap a finger and this round was over. And there was that early mid aggression, right? We talked about it. They got that early mid aggression, but thankfully enough, Paradox did not position his op in that way. He got that kill on the B main side, which was brilliant. But after that, he found himself in that 1v2 situation, couldn't really capitalize on it. But Samurai Esports, they have been pretty quick on those executes, but look at Paradox go. This man is going ham with the operator and he's getting kills left and right. That is one very influential player taking down the Astra and the KJ. Both of them have been taking down the Paradox this time around. Vim finally trades him, but Excali's already on the Blade Storm. He needs to find Devil in hell. Relic again finding himself, or rather Excali again finding himself in a 1vx situation. Couldn't really do anything over there because Team TRUERIPPERS, they are overwhelming them with numbers. And that is just great teamwork.
Positional advantage as well here, Salty, from the side of TRUERIPPERS. It's very, very admirable to say the very least. Every single time we see the side of TRUERIPPERS go in for a lot of their engagements, it's always a 2 versus X situation. It's never a 1 versus X situation. And this is very, very, very important for a team dynamic to go on down through. And the fact that the side of Samurai Esports are always going in for these 1v1 isolated duels is something that they're not really finding, because the entirety of TRUERIPPERS, they know how to circumvent a lot of these aggressive plays that could be coming on down from the side of Samurai. And now, in the long run, it feels as though it's just not happening. It's just not there. The entirety of Samurai
Oh,
Esports, they're just not going to be as present, but at the same time, just as I was talking about that, it's going to be Excali just being able to snap a bullet into the forehead of Relic, being able to take down one. One tap god is just playing mind games with Excali right now, but at the same time, look at Blackhawk. He spots out Paradox, and he's like, oh, hello there, Paradox. Let me just send a bullet into the back of your skull like a knife in the dark. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the side of the defenders, they're going to be heading on down over onto a disadvantage on a possible thrifty run going on down through from the side of Samurai, as a post-plan situation for the side of Samurai Esports is just about to start.
look at that astral divide. It's so perfect. Kind of entirely nullifies the heavens region. And if Team True Rippers kind of tend to be overly aggressive, there are players in position to shut that down perfectly.
No.
Excali, no, he kind of whips that shot. This gives them certain man advantage to work with. Blackhawk gets taken down as well. True Rippers are actually making this work. Wim really needs to come and clutch at this point. There is almost no time. IQ gets Crosshair with the Nano Swarm. The lockdown is invested as well. Wimp in prime position, get another kill. 1v1 situation, and Master needs to find that lockdown, but he hasn't boiled down 59 HP. He does not have enough time to get the spike as well, but that's okay because Wimp is gonna find a bullet to the brain. Nevertheless, this was such a stressful run for both the teams. It boiled down to a 1v1 aggressive.
Yeah, at the very end of it all, I feel as though there was a little bit of a communication gap coming on down through from the side of the defenders. True Rippers, they wanted to go in for that push. It was really clean, though, you have to say, because this 50 round could have just not gone in the favor of Samurai Esports whatsoever. This could have been a possible 11th round on the board for the side of True Rippers, and it would have been closer for them to try and close out this round. But at the very end of it all, it was Wim being an absolute anchor for the side of the attackers, being able to hold down strong towards that mid-short angle. And with that, they're going to be able to stabilize. They're going to be able to play it smart. They're going to be able to play it a lot more slower and take a sigh of relief, because now Samurai, they're no longer in that danger zone when it comes down to the terms of their ego. But at the same time, for the side of True Rippers, you can't say the same for them, because Paradox, he does not get value out of his operator, and it's going to be Blackhawk being able to take him down with a beautiful crisp pitch.
Yeah, one of the rare occasions, but one time God finally finds a frag. This kind of is a one-for-one trade, so things should be in favor of Team Samurai Esports, right? But they need to kind of double down on one side right now. They cannot invest further to getting information. One that got still is looking for that recon done. That's fine, I guess. Flash comes in. They're still trying to make it work from the A mains region. 2 players in the A shot as well. I feel like Relic is in a position where he can be overwhelmed with numbers, but then reinforcement comes in. All these players rushing on the side. Wim finds Relic, but one tap god with the op needs to fall back. He needs to save this weapon, because this does not look to be very humanely possible. Samurai Esports complete side control and also in post-one positions. This looks like a pretty thick defense which cannot be broken.
This stage here, Salty, it's better to opt to just cut your losses and go in for a save.
Yeah.
You have an operator in your hand, you have guns, you have some utility, and you have some shields. Go in for a save here, True Rippers. You don't need to opt to go in for that push, because this round will be very difficult for you to try and go in for a possible retake. Maybe try and find out this round, but Master is going to prove me wrong with Crosser being able to spell out IQ. He's going to take that one. Masters is actually going to be able to go in for another one, but at the same time, they don't have enough time. The Hunter's Fury is going to be present, but the Half-Plate Diffuse can be taken on down as well. There is more than enough time to go in for a possible defuse. One tap god is going to hold it strong, but at the very end of it all, the timer is just not in the favor of the side of True Rippers, ladies and gentlemen. 10 and 10 on the scoreboard. An extremely good try. And I think that Salty just fell out of his chair and he's having a heart attack right now. Someone call an ambulance.
Dude, I cannot call for an ambulance. Do it for me, because right now, yeah, you said it correctly. I'm having a heart attack right now because the way True Rippers, they dropped down and they do so much damage. Look at Team Samurai Esports. They've been boiled down to just a one-man team at the end of it all. They had to invest into that Hunter's Fury, which looked like a round by default. They had to invest in that Hunter's Fury to take 2 players down from the opposite camp. This was so well fought from True Rippers. Paradox missing that rare shot with the Marshall. But this time around, they are on the eco round. So I guess that Samurai Esports, they'll have an opportunity trying to even things up and get their 11th round one. That ball winds away. Will he get the second? No, he barely misses. But no, he actually finds Blackhawk through the wall and gets second kill.
That's gonna hurt just a tiny little bit. Crosshair, he really didn't need to run away. Maybe if he just played the time a little bit more, maybe he could have gotten something done. But at the same time, Paradox, he needs to be careful. He's literally walking down over into a death trap down towards the side of A main, and Sai is gonna be good for a double kill. Bastard going in for a couple of shots for himself. Spot out INQ, who's trying to make a run for it. And with that, the round started so beautifully here, Salty, but at the very end of the day, it was the better firepower coming on down through from the side of Samurai Esports and the better communication that possibly just got them this round in particular. But just as I was talking about that, I'm not even gonna say anything. One tap god, he's just ready, and he's just clicking heads, left, right, and center.
Yeah, I mean, justifying his name over there, Master. He is caught out over there.
Oh, ace.
One God actually gets his quad. Will he get an ace clutch? This was an equal round for Team TRUERIPPERS, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't remember. And suddenly we find ourselves in a position. Excalibur finds this third one that got denied the ace over there. Team Samurai Esports have been barely managing to keep themselves alive. They've won rounds where they're just one man left, a one-man team. But talk about Team TRUERIPPERS, they are punching above their weight right now because one tap god, this man just got a quad kill in an eco round. And that's enough good job done by Team TRUERIPPERS, honestly, because their main objective was to drop few weapons on the opposite camp, and they did a lot. They did a lot of damage. So look at this again. Team Samurai Esports, their economy looks pretty humble, and that is what their main intentions was.
I feel like it was a massive panic coming on down from the side of one tap god. I'm very sure if he didn't scope in, he would have gotten that kill down on the Excalibur. But hey, in those high pressure situations, whenever you are getting close to that ace, we all kind of do choke out, and the 4K Rossi curse comes on down back almost immediately. So I feel bad for one tap god, but at the same time, it's very much understandable. But in the long run, it's going to be the 11th round on the board coming on down through for the side of Samurai. And that's gonna hurt massively for the side of the defense, because now TRUERIPPERS, they're on a massive disadvantage, and this is their last possible round to win to maybe go in for a possible other play. But Crosser, he's not gonna be able to get that kill down on Excalibur. He's actually gonna be able to survive. Blackhawk gets a double kill for himself, and the entirety of the side is now in the control of the side of Samurai Esports, and with that, Master goes on down as well. There's no one holding on down inside of the side. There's not be a lot of time. One time squad is gonna be good for one, but will it be good for a second is a real question. He needs to get this kill, and he needs to get it quick because the clock is running on down, and they cannot play the clock down for as long as they possibly are. And now it's gonna be Paradox moving on down over to a 1 versus 3, but INQ is gonna slap a bullet into his skull, shut it all down. And the hopes and dreams for the side of TRUERIPPERS, ladies and gentlemen, it's just going downhill one by one. Salty, they don't have enough money to go in for proper buys, and at this point, I think it's pretty much all but over for the side of TRUERIPPERS when it comes down to map number 1.
You're right. I mean, we've talked about this earlier as well, that Team Samurai Esports, they're brilliant in their mid-game adaptation, and this time again they do something like that, right? We've seen them go ham on that mid-aggression. We've seen them go ham on pretty much every single side. This time around they're getting a lot of information. They see that, all right, this team cannot really withstand a lot of aggressive play right off the bat. Look at this, they're overwhelming them with utility, right? They have one position, one player plays. Paradox is perfect. One position, he gets two into that. Doesn't really get a third. That is going to be the question. Blackhawk is just bombarding him with bullets. Tries to go for the right click, but doesn't really happen. But Excalibur and Wimp, they get triple kill elsewhere. So this turns down to a 2v2. The actual divide is there as well to deny any sort of real estate. But Master, his position has been revealed, and Relic is in prime position to deny the plan. What can Team Samurai Esports do at this point? Will they still commit for that A push? What do you think, Aggressive?
A push is just not looking that good, but at the same time, I understand what the side of Samurai Esports are expecting. They're expecting Relic to maybe go in for a possible flank, but with that camera sound now going on down through, they should have been able to hear it. This is going to be a call for them to go down, head over towards that B side to maybe go in for a possible play, but it's a split approach. The spike is holding down over towards the side of Winery, and then things could work out beautifully down for the side of the defense, but at the same time, they need to be careful. Both of these players are literally in each other's minds. Relic is holding down towards the side of A Short, expecting a push to come on down through from the side of Blackhawk, and with only 20 seconds left on the clock, they cannot change their mind. They need to go in for that play. Master's gonna be good for one, taking out Blackhawk and Whip. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He needs to go in for that push. He doesn't really have a choice. Either go in for a save, or it's all but over over, but with the crossfire already being set up, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing that Wimp can do. He needs to make that push, and he needs to go down immediately and head on down over towards the next round instead. It's going to be 12 and 11 on the scorecards, and a possible overtime coming on down through here, Salty. What's your opinions on that?
I mean, honestly, I have no clue. Bring in a mind doctor, because these people, they're actually reading each other's minds right now. So wonderfully done over there. I remember Blackhawk falling back, going all the way through mid, and Relic, he completely read that. He positioned himself on the mid position, and then Blackhawk coming in from the A-shot region as well. Relic places himself in that A-shot position. This is one-for-one mind games. I don't know how they are playing this, but they're playing this down to perfection. Samurai Esports, they really need to close things down with one tap. God again being very decisive, gets that kill and falls back to safety. Smoke is going to buy him some time to work with. The ultimate comes in from the KGU as well. Team Samurai Esports, they're very keen on making this work, but I guess he's going to be a bit too aggressive. One tap. God, the crossfire setup was perfect, and he just falls prey to that.
Yeah, there's almost that the side of one tap God could have done. He got stuck between a rock and a hard place, and that hard place has to be the killjoy lockdown going on down through. Crosshair's gonna be good for one, but at this point in this 3 versus 3 situation, they need to go in fast and they need to go in hard. They don't really have a lot of time to work it, and if they run down the clock a little bit too long, the shock darts coming on down through from the side of Wimp and the nano swarms from the side of IonQ could be the thing that just shuts everything down. The shots are gonna be going on down all over the place. It's gonna be Crosshair coming on down with a shock dart, Relic with a headshot, and Masters with another headshot to end everything off, ladies and gentlemen. And it's gonna be True Rippers taking us down over to overtime #1, and it's gonna be a 12 and 12 scoreline for the map of Ascent, with Crosshair pulling out the 100th Fury in the side of victory.
Dude, I mean, this is insane, Team True Rippers. You mentioned, right, if they run down the clock, it's going to be very difficult for them to hold on. They do that, but it's not actually very bad for Team True Rippers, because they know that they're so decisive with that guns. They just walk in and slap Team Samurai Esports off their feet. This is brilliant. 12-12. We are moving on to the first overtime, ladies and gentlemen, and look at the stats from Team True Rippers. I mean, 18, 18, 18, and 16, 16. A proper team game. And someone who really doesn't focus on the kills much, because it's more than just the kills. But the fact that the kills are so evenly placed is a very good sign, because that means that all these players are fragging for themselves. And that just goes to show that they have some player to fall back upon in case they miss a shot in one round.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure that Paradox, he's gonna be feeling a little bit more of pain, because it's his game. It's supposed to be his way of showing what he can do and head on down over towards that MVP standings and take that #1 position to maybe, you know, get that consolation prize at the bare minimum. Being like, hey, I got to the #1 spot. I'm going to get that prize for myself at the bare minimum. But at this stage, he has a couple more rounds to maybe take that #1 position away from the side of Excali. Otherwise, we know for a fact that Excali is going to be coming on down through, and he's going to take that #4 spot away from Paradox.
True that, but at this point, I guess the teams have to really focus on winning their games, because, again, talk about individual players. Excali has been absolutely brilliant, but so has been One Tap God. Crosshair sure does have that 18 kills to work with, but we've seen One Tap God really bring the man advantage to favor of Team True Rippers. This time around, it should be an early mid push, right? The outrun comes in. The short area has been blocked off as well with the smoke, so Blackhawk will be completely nullified. But one player, actually, Excali pushes in through the smoke. Does he? He is still looking for that intel to work with. Paradox has found his way in already in the A-shot region.
No.
The shots come in. One that got deletes Blackhawk, and this gives them side control. IonQ is going to be overwhelmed with all these players, but he casually takes down, sprays on Master, and so does the turret. This is insane stuff, aggressive. I'm just overwhelmed with what I just saw.
Yeah, that turret placement has to be so clean, and I'm very sure that Paradox is like, goddamn turret! Why is this the 6th map for the side of Samurai Esports? Why is it there? That should have not been there. And a little bit of triggering moments coming on down through, but at the same time, it's gonna be a little bit triggering as well if the side of Samurai lose out on this round in particular after such a heroic play coming on down through from the side of IonQ. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, Sai's gonna be going in for that push. Crosshair's gonna be going for one, and the fact is, will Wimp be able to go in for that clutch, but against One Tap God? Nah, I don't think it's gonna happen. He's gonna live true to his namesake. and one-tap Wimp out of that server and send him back to his own spawn. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be match point, overtime number 1 going on down through for the side of TRUERIPPERS. They're looking to close out the map of Ascent in style. Will they be able to do it is a real question, because look at what's in the hand of Paradox here, Salty. He pulled out that operator, and this could be the deciding factor of this entire defense.
That means he cannot invest on the shield as well. So that's kind of a major trade-off over there. One good spray and he is basically dead. But Paradox has to be very decisive, right? No utility to work with, just one cloud burst, right? And this owl drone can give away his position, which can basically nullify the fact that he does have the operator. He'll still hide himself inside the nebula. But look at what Samurai Esports are doing right now, right? They are pushing some players in towards B main region, trying to bait out some utility. 3 players from Team TRUERIPPERS, the read is perfect for them. Sky, though, from Samurai Esports can really open things up because his presence on the A-short region can be really decisive. But Cross as Outrun is going to spot him out. And they know for a fact that that was a bait play from Sai. So his plans will be completely revealed. And this time around, Team TRUERIPPERS, they look to be well settled for this early aggression.
Now it's gonna be Masters getting caught with his pants down pretty much at that point, but still Relic, he's gonna be ready for all of these plays. He's gonna be that Sentinel holding on down towards that B side. He's not gonna be able to survive for long. Those shots are gonna be going on down all over the place, and it is gonna be one tap go, maybe going in for a kill, but he's not gonna be able to spot down IronQ holding on down over towards the side of the Cubby area on that staircase, and that's gonna hurt quite a lot. Paradox needs to go in for that swing. He's gonna be good for 1, but not more than that. Instead, it's gonna be Blackhawk going in for that swing down towards on the side of Speedway, being able to take down Crosshair. And with that, the round starts with that execution, and it's already pretty much over. 13 and 13 on the scorecard as we do head on down onto overtime number 2, ladies and gentlemen. And this is just map number 1. And the fact that both of these teams are fighting each other tooth and nail when the stakes are not that high just goes to show how serious they are on making sure they keep their positions ready, and they showcase to us back at home what their medal is really.
I'm just awestruck at the play which these teams are actually bringing in. And again, like both the teams, they're winning on their attacking side. Just goes to show that they're pretty damn confident on the executes. Look at this. Team TRUERIPPERS, they're just basically casually walking in to the market region. Blackhawk will find a place there. The layer is going to come out, but Blackhawk is in prime position to shut that down. That is going to be the real question. Flashes from Sai can also be a very big difficulty that Team TRUERIPPERS have to deal with. Again, they are just wanting to dash inside and get complete side control. And yes, they will do that. It's just popping off. Kills Master gets his own. Wim is just good for 1, and that turns into a 1v4. Basically, Team Samurai Esports, they've given away this round to Team TRUERIPPERS. 14-13 effectively on the scorecard, if not for a miraculous comeback.
I think what they've got is trying to force the issue of the precise gunplay, but he's not able to do it much with that battle. He did get 1 kill out of it, but that's pretty much it. But in the long run here, so it's beautiful. The side of Samurai Esports, they're constantly going in for these aggressive plays that they don't really need to. They have so much utility to work with. Play it slow, play it smart. Place your utility all over the map and use it to get information. Stop a lot of these aggressive pushes. But the fact that Samurai Esports are playing for gunfights instead, they're going into the awaiting arms of what the side of TRUERIPPERS won. And the fact is, with the double initiator composition, you play it a lot more differently. You don't try and go for gunfights. You play for information. You play for the utility being set up by the Astro. You play for those flashes. You have a lot to work with, but the fact that Samurai is opting to go in for the Trident to test that strategy that the side of TRUERIPPERS won, it's just not working out in their favor whatsoever. And with this, the side of TRUERIPPERS, they're going to be able to take 1 more round back off the board. But at the same time, TRUERIPPERS, they're playing it so aggressively. I'm very much scared here, Salty. Things are going horribly wrong, and this first initial kill is going to be everything. Yeah, he's going to be able to find it. 1-tap god. He's just a 1-tap god.
Certainly is. But again, granting Team TRUERIPPERS an early man advantage to work with. Master is in prime position. He knows that Excali will be making his way in through the mid-market region. He has done that quite a lot already. And it shouldn't really be a very big guess for them. complete mid control, sort of mid control for Samurai Esports. They will move towards the A shot
Oh,
region, but Paradox prime position. The operator is just
beautiful.
singing the songs of death. One Tap God is doubling up on the back of it. I mean, we've said this time and time again, right? One Tap God, he is a killer machine, and certainly he is making use of that. Iron Q will be good for one. That she wrote for him, and one player survived. Team Samurai Esports, they're on the edge of defeat. A 1v3 is certainly required. If not, Team True Rippers are gonna get the victory, and they certainly will, because these players, they are blood hungry, and for sure they get the blood of Team Samurai Esports. The Samurai has been taken down.
At this point, Salty, there's not much at the side of Samurai Esports that, like, what could they have done even? The type of aggressive plays coming on down through from the side of True Rippers. They were constantly playing inside the smokes. They changed up their dynamic entirely for overtime number 2. And they were like, hey, let's just play together as a team. Let's wait for the side of Samurai Esports to make all of the mistakes. Let them not take a lot of their utility. And that was one of the main and primary flaws coming on down through from the side of Samurai Esports. You would have expected them to go in for much more of those utility-based plays, and the fact that they were not opting to go in for that, that just hurts quite a lot moving on down the line as well. And as we are going to be heading on down over onto the match highlights, ladies and gentlemen, Salty, I want your opinion. What did the side of Samurai Esports do wrong right at the very end? Because they had such a good start, but True Rippers, they just did a complete 180 flip and caught the side of Samurai Esports off guard.
This was continuous adaptation from both the teams, right? I talked about it. Team Samurai Esports, they were playing for those utilities, they were playing for those information gathering gameplays right at the start of it all, which was pretty successful right at the start, and they were getting rounds on the back of it. But Team True Rippers, they kind of got conditioned to that play, and they were adapting to it, right? They got to understand Team Samurai Esports, what they were doing, what they were thinking. Remember one round where Relic, he absolutely knew every one of the positioning of Blackhawk. He went back towards mid, Relic followed him and went back to mid. He came back from the A-shot region, he followed him back to that A-shot region. This just goes to show how conditioned Team True Rippers were mid-game to Team Samurai Esports' gameplay. But again, come the fact that Samurai Esports, they had to do something different. They try and go ham on one side, right? They try to overwhelm the defense and just try to put manpower in play. They had two initiatives to work with. Sai was actually not playing like, a typical initiative. He was trying to flash in, trying to kind of be the fake, trying to sell a fake for Team Samurai Esports, the Team True Rippers, and make Team True Rippers believe that they were going on to the other side. But more or less, Team True Rippers read all of that. And in spite of that mechanical brilliance that we got to see from most of the players from Team Samurai Esports, they just couldn't keep up. And again, I just love the way One Tap got popped off in this match. Sure, Paradox was there, but One Tap God's contribution in this one was absolutely insane.
Yeah, he stole everyone's hearts with literally his one taps coming on down through. And that's what you love to see coming on down through from the side of True Rippers. They have aim stars, but initially I was talking about this in the analysis as well, that it all really comes down to how True Rippers perform on that third round, first round, and in the second round. Because if they are not able to perform on those first 3 rounds, you know for a fact that True Rippers, their momentum has been stopped entirely for that entire match. There's no way they can possibly come on back from it unless there is a miracle play coming on down through from a couple of those players. And the fact that True Rippers were able to take round number 3 in their bag, it was a complete dynamic change. And I knew for a fact that it's either going to be a very decisive win coming on down through from the side of True Rippers, or it's going to be both of the teams just dueling it out head to toe, not even letting off that gas battle for even a second. It was a consistent adaptation, as you just said, coming on down through from the side of True Rippers that gave them that massive advantage to take this win away from the side of Samurai. Samurai Esports, they played it very well, but they kind of fell into that trap here once again that, hey, what can we do to try and go in for a possible win and take it all away from the side of True Rippers? We need to play down together more as a team, but at the very end of it all, we just did not see that. And it was a really close map, but at the same time, Samurai Esports, they shouldn't have been able to close this one out. They had the lead at the very end. It was a 12-10 scoreline. One more round for them to win, and they had it all. But at the very end of it all, they were just not able to close this one out. But hey, they need to brush off this defeat, because you do need to remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is still a best of 3, and there are a lot more chances for them to try and go in for a possible comeback and take us down over onto map number 3. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be setting up map number 2, and we're going to be back with you real shortly with the TC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WD Black and AB Ryzen Radiant. We'll catch you in just a little bit. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the TC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by W Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. As we are back with map number 2 of this intense matchup of True Rippers going up against the side of Samurai Esports. And honestly, True Rippers, they pulled up a massive upset by taking map number 1 in their favor. So let's head on down over to the map video screen and take a look at the scoreline and also where we're going to be heading down over next. It was a 15-13 scoreline coming on down through from the side of True Rippers on the map of Ascent. It was a long and hard-fought victory, but Samurai Esports, they should have been able to close it out. And now it's their chance to go in for their own redemption arc. And in their own anime, they're going to be heading on down over to the map of Haven. And Salty, give us your thoughts on this map in particular.
Yep, in their own anime, they will be the protagonist. I'm expecting them to be the Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. But talking about teams coming back to the game, like Samurai, just like you mentioned, they could have closed things out. We got to see that it was around 12-10, the score line on the side of Team Samurai Esports. They had the lead in the first half. They had a considerable lead in the first half, but just completely gave that away to Team True Rippers. Credit to them, of course, because their playstyle was a bit too much to handle for Team Samurai Esports. Now, the ball is going to be on their court. True Rippers winning their map pick. Samurai Esports, can they do the same, or is it going to be a 2-0 for Team True Rippers? The question still remains, but I guess we'll get an answer in a few moments.
Yeah, at this point, when you look at the map of Haven in particular, I'm expecting a lot more of those standard plays coming on down through from the side of Samurai Esports. But I'm really worried about one thing here, Salty. The fact that Samurai, if they opt to go in for that same double initiator composition when it comes down to the map of Haven, things are just not going to be as clean. So as you can already see, they're going to be heading on back to their old tried and true tested comp, Exali on that Jet, Sai picking up that Phoenix. And with everything like this, I think that, hey, True Rippers, they're going to be in a pretty tough spot because now Samurai, they're taking things a lot more seriously and they're going to be going in for a composition that they know for a fact will be working against the side of True Rippers.
True that, but I mean, it wasn't really very surprising the first composition on Ascent because I'm pretty sure they were playing seriously. The double initiator pick is sometimes very highly regarded, but it just didn't pay them dividends because they had to adapt to a strategy which was not making use of that double initiator strat or the double initiator comp, right? This time around, they're going for a more decent pick, which should grant them a lot of information from both Sova and Cypher. Phoenix on the side is going to be very influential because we've seen him play good stuff. Sure, in the on Sky, he was feeling probably a bit, I don't know, held back with the kind of playstyle that he generally loves to play with. But with Phoenix, I guess he's gonna be breaking free of those shackles. And on the other side, Team True Rippers, they have something similar as well. Wait, what do I see? One tap god. Oh my god! Thankfully, he finally shifts onto the Omen. I almost thought that he was picking up the KO.
I want the KO.
I mean, everyone wants KO.
Yeah, everyone at this point wants that KO, but hey, you gotta wait for a couple of more weeks to get that KO down onto that server and
Yep.
see how the pro players are gonna be playing it. But moving on back towards the composition, one tap god picking up that Omen. I don't know how I feel about this here, Salty. Primarily because you know I'm an Astra boy, and I love seeing Astra plays coming on down through. And once again, the side of True Rippers, they're not playing based upon utility. They're playing purely based upon their gunfights. And on the map of Haven, where utility reigns king, I don't know how the side of True Rippers are going to take a lot of these engagements against the side of Samurai.
Honestly, the Omen versus Astra controller talk has been quite impressive. I feel like it's very debatable what do you actually want. But Astra provides you that flanking capability, right? I mean, you can place your stars and you can help your team from anywhere across the map, which the Omen, he definitely does have a range, which kind of places him in a, I would say, I'm not sure how would I like to place it, but for sure, I'm more worried about the fact that One Tap God is actually picking up the Omen instead of Master, who is picking up the Phoenix. We saw that he was pretty lethal with Arena last game, so this time around, it's going to be a lot of questions that need to be answered.
Yeah, they're gonna be playing it slow and they're gonna be playing it smart. But look at Black Hawk down towards the back end of it all. He spots out one player. Maybe he could get a kill down onto a little bit of an overzealous Crosshair who's trying to jump peek him. So they need to be careful because Samurai Esports, they mean business and they're playing it slow, but they're playing it smart. But Paradox going in for a little bit too aggressive of a peek. Maybe he gets caught off if he's not careful. And now Sai, he makes a lot of footsteps, so Paradox knows exactly where all of the attackers are going to be at, and this is going to be execution heading on down over towards that A side, and the entirety of Samurai Esports, they're getting ready for that rush, and with only 50 seconds left on the clock, I think that they are going to be going in for that execution, but nope. They're second guessing themselves, and they're like, nah, we're going to be heading on down towards the side of mid, and possibly towards that C side after making a lot of noise down towards that A side and causing a lot of panic there.
Team Samurai, they're actually pulling off a double fake, but the read from Team TRUERIPPERS is actually perfect. But they have no player on the C side, which can lead Team Samurai Esports to getting complete side control. Crosshair instead with a shock that takes down Sai. Master and Crosshair, they double up 3 kills right off the bat, 1 trade. That's all about it. Team Samurai Esports, they have been reduced down to a 2-man team, and all these 4 players, they're chasing them. Spike control and also body control. They take the triple kill. Master is being crucial over there, but it's not just Master. The way Team Samurai just fell onto the trap, right? They thought that, we have the side control, we have the side completely open, and we can take control of it. But then comes the shock dance from Crosshair, and he returns a favor.
It was Wim getting super crispy right there, and that just hurt me quite a lot because you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. You go left, there's a player. You go right, there's a player. And right beneath you, there's a Molotov that says burning you down and turn you into... At that stage, what can you do? But at this point, the entirety of the side of Samurai, they just got shut down massively. And this round in particular as well, Sai, he gets taken down almost instantly. And One Tap God, I don't think he got the memo to try and play it a little bit more forward. He just wants to keep on going. And Ion, yeah, he's just not going to be happy about that. One Tap God just did him the massive disrespect, using the ghost and running and gunning him down.
Yeah, Wim all by himself, 5 players trying to hunt him down. Oh man. Oh, wait. Wim finally finds Relic. That's about it. He was speaking in the wrong angle. He was checking the wrong angle over there, but... yeah, I guess the ball is going to be on his court. He'll try and drop a few weapons, but now that his position has been given out, I don't think it's going to be pretty long before he falls down to the dust as well. Oh, no, wait, what? He gets a second?
Wait
a second? That shouldn't have been allowed, but Wim, good stuff over there. Crosshair finds his third as well. But, oh boy. Cross is pretty mad at Paradox, honestly, because we all thought that he should have died, especially with that mini Odin against a ghost.
Yeah, Paradox is like, how do you control this gun? How do you shoot this Ares? How do Mortis and Irons use this weapon? I don't understand, and I feel you, so I feel you, Paradox. The higher up you go, and the fact that you never use that gun, it's completely fine. You're on that jet and you should not be using it whatsoever. You can default back to that judge and show everyone your judge supremacy instead. Because using that gun, it just causes a lot of mental damage. Forget about the fact of winning the round. If you're able to get a couple of kills with that judge, you're gonna be able to send everyone down towards the asylum because they're gonna be screaming, they're gonna be so mad, and they're gonna be ready to go in for a couple of plays. And Paradox, he's squaring up the 2 players coming on down through from the side of Samurai Esports. He's gonna be good for 1. Shuts down Whip with a well-placed Paranoia coming on down through from the side of One Tap God, and it's already pretty much over. There's not much that the side of Samurai Esports can do. It's gonna be Master's gonna get another kill for himself down towards the back end as well. Sai, He's very low, and Paradox, he's slowly but surely going to be making that push happen. He has a forward position. Frelic is going to go for another kill as well towards the side of Excali, who tried to go in for a cheeky play of his own. But it's already over, ladies and gentlemen. Sai, last person remaining down towards this angle of window. There's not much that he can do. Master spits out his back end, and he's going to be able to shoot a bullet down towards him as well. And with that, it's a flawless start coming on down through for the side of TRUERIPPERS, ladies and gentlemen. And Salty, it feels as though the momentum is completely in the ballpark of the side of TRUERIPPERS.
Yeah, I mean, momentum is certainly on their favor, but when you said that he's going to default back to the judge, I felt like Paradox, he felt that right in his heart. And he was like, he was so well positioned in that short area. The flash helping him as well. And then perfectly placed that shot, shotgun crosshair on the Skull of Wimp. This time around, I guess, Team Samurai Esports, they need to do something different, trying to make something happen from the garage area. Master trying to go overly aggressive, but falls back instantly, being shut down by Paradox. Has already moved past the A main region. He can actually cover the distance, and he gets Wim. Will he get a second one? No, Blackhawk denies, but Relic trades him down. A lot of trades coming in their way, and Team TRUERIPPERS, they're certainly pulling up their dominant socks. They're not giving Samurai Esports an inch. Look at the amount of real estate that they get from pushing in from the A long corridor, or also from the C corridor as well. And not only do they pinch them from both directions, but they also try and suppress them from the garage area as well. Master with those flashes, and from the B main area as well. A lot of shots coming in their way. This is just too overwhelming from Team Samurai Esports, honestly.
At this point, honestly, Salty, it feels like the side of Samurai, they feel really lost, and they don't know what to expect coming on down through from the side of TRUERIPPERS. And once again, we see an operator coming on down through from the side of Paradox. Master wants to go in for that swing with that running back. He's not going to be able to find a lot of value out of it though, but still, he has his backup. He has his body crosshair, maybe going in for a couple plays for himself. Doesn't get the first initial charge down on Excali, so he's going to be able to survive, but not for long though. Crosshair, he's going to be able to take out Excali, and I'm very sure that Excali, he's going to be a little bit tilted coming on down from that. Relic's going to be good for another one down towards the side of Wimp as well, and the round's just starting, and already the bloodbath is happening down towards the side of Mid Garden. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's heading on down over to a 3 versus 5 situation. And this could just be another calm before the storm, because it feels as though Ion, he's making that push down towards that A side, maybe going in for a possible play. But Master, he has the phone number of Side, calls him up, and literally takes him back home almost immediately. And with that, it's already heading on down over to a 5 versus 2 situation. And Salty, take it away, because I don't think that the side of Samurai Esports have much of a chance of trying to clutch this one out.
True that. I mean, I don't think they have much of a chance as well. They can put the spike down, but Sai, again, feeling the pressure of flanking for the team, tried to make something happen from the garage region, instantly got shut down like there was nothing over there. The Astral Divide being committed as well, which can buy them some space, but I don't think it's going to be pretty useful because they have all 5 players. So even if the trade game happens, it is going to go in their way, and Iron already falling back. He has been down quite a bit. Wait, he didn't just know that was your blip. Blackhawk being shut down as well. Team TRUERIPPERS, they just lose 1 player in the process, and that was due to Iron's brilliance, but that's much about it. Team TRUERIPPERS, they're basically dominating this game, almost like it's a walk in the park for them.
Honestly, yeah, that's just gonna hurt quite a lot. The side of Samurai Esports, they had everything under the bag, but constantly they kept on trying to fight the pressure coming on down through from the side of TRUERIPPERS towards that garage angle. They should not have done that. They should have just left that garage side, being like, hey, we don't need to invest any more resources. They invested in Owl Drone, they invested in Run It Back, they invested 2 flashes coming on down through from the side of Master. It's our win. We can easily go down towards that A side or go down towards the C side and just completely take it over by ourselves. But the fact that Samurai kept on trying to go in for that fight, kept on trying to go in for a kill towards that garage side, just shut everything down, and it's gonna be Wimp trying to go in for a play for himself as well, trying to get a little bit of information with his recon bolts and his Owl Drones. But Paradox, with that one operator, is going to be able to shut down all the hopes and dreams coming on down through from the side of the attackers. And now Samurai Esports, they don't have that Sova, and without an initiator, things are just going to get a lot more harder. Shots are going to be going on down all over the place, and it is going to be Masters being able to get a collateral amount of damage on towards the side of Blackhawk with only 5 HP. He's going to be hitting on down over to a 3 versus 2 situation. The Hunter's Fury has been popped as well, and also the Hunter's Fury gets a kill down on the Blackhawk. It's already pretty much over. Excali, he has nowhere to run, and at this stage, he needs to make that decision. Either go in for a massive play and just kill everyone off, or maybe go in for the slow and methodical play, head on down over towards that A side or B side, go in for a plan, and maybe try and clutch out this round for his team.
Looks like he's actually moving towards the A region. Cross there, looks in the wrong direction. That's one man down for Excali. He knows it's going to be a 1v2, a difficult 1v2 in fact.
30 seconds
An
left.
orthodox plan for him to work with. He does have the daggers at his disposal. He does have an updraft, a dash, as well as cloudburst to work with. And having all 5 daggers and a vandal to work with, I guess he can work it out. But Team True Rippers, they have to be pretty careful not to give 1v1s against this player, because this player is so mechanically skilled. He can pull off that clutch at any moment. And know it, Excali, he still wants to isolate these players, right? And Paradox already finds his way in. That was only good for one. He missed a lot of shots. But that's about it. Paradox finally pulls off a jet diff over there. Retains the op, will defuse the spike. 6 round on board. This is a cruise for Team True Rippers. But for sure, they lost a few players at the end. But I'm pretty sure the economy is not going to hurt that much. Their pockets are pretty full right now with cash.
That's true. Because of the loss stream bonus coming on down through from all the members of the Sada Samurai Esports, in a way, it is a silver lining and it gives you a chance to go in for another buy round. But
Yeah, Silver.
at the same point, Salty, you don't really want to be in that type of situation when you have an Astra on your side. There is no Astra on the side of the defense. You have so much utility to work with, and you can easily go in for a lot of those different executions on your own turf. You can set up those plays, but I feel as though the utility usage is not being used in proper conjunction with one another, causing this play to be a massive misplay coming on down through onto the long terms. It's gonna be Sai trying to survive for long, but he's not gonna be able to get away with it because Paradox with that opera is gonna be able to shut down one, but at the same time Excali goes in for that push. He's gonna be able to take down one more player almost immediately. And now, without Crosshair being alive, that's going to be a massive dent towards the defensive retake, because now this retake is a lot more difficult without any form of information. How will they try and go in for this execution? And now, they need to send one person down in towards that side to maybe get a tiny little bit of info before they opt to go in for that retake. Because this 4 versus 5 retake situation, considering the post ones of all the members of the side of Samurai, is just a little bit too good and it's just a little bit too clean.
True that. Now they need a man, a live recon dart to work with. 2 players already been taken down in the process. The last 2 players who survive, I don't think they're going to be able to survive quite a lot. But again, Team Samurai Esports, one good run for them. Just like you mentioned, there was a silver lining. And they did have the hope that, sure, again, they will fall back to their YOLO rush gameplay. This time it did work, right? Getting that important play in the form of Crosshair early on, it did work out for them. No information, completely blocked off on the intel part of it, on the intel department. And then when they have complete side control, the defense looks strong. Most of the 6 rounds which they lost early on, that has been a result of those split pushes, those attempts to get intel from all across the board. And in the process, they lose some to someone like Paradox or Master or someone else, right? This time around, they go ham on one side, try and overwhelm the player with numbers, and that again succeeds. But how long is it going to succeed? We've seen that happen in Ascent as well. This time around, they try and make it work on Haven, get 1 round on the back of it, but we have seen that this strategy can be easily countered. And already one tap god finds his way on the B window. This can be deadly. He can cut down those rotations almost effectively and basically take the entire side down. No one is checking his direction. Will he get the second kill? No way! He could have got the second kill, but that's fine. 1 for 1. Yep.
He honestly needed that Phantom, and I always say this, if you're gonna go in for flags like this, if you're gonna go in for plays like that,
yeah,
don't use the Vandal.
Look at it.
Always use the Phantom. The Phantom's just a better gun in those times.
You want to fight it?
And I'm very sure that one tap god, he's gonna be feeling that pain, but at the same time with the execution now going on down through over towards this A side, it's pretty much nail biting over because it's just gonna kill. He's not gonna be able to fight it yet. Yeah, he's probably gonna be able to fight this one.
Oh my god, he's actually pretty damn accurate with that Odin. I'm just so surprised that IQ is actually surviving this. The running back comes in as well. Team True Rippers, they really want this retake of the way she shuts one down. A 2v1, they really double up on running back has been very, very effective. But the Odin is on duty right now. Through the smoke, through the woodworks, gets Blackhawk. It's 1v2. Time is running out, the clock is ticking, and I guess he needs to fall back. Switch on the final fight, Scally. Wouldn't be able to find the last one, but good stuff from Relic over there. That was a great round. Finally, on the end of it, Team Samurai Esports win their second round. They're slowly crawling back aggressive. What do you think?
Out coming out from Relic, it's still such a nail-biting moment for me that my brain is trying to process what just happened. Relic, in a way, I love to own it. It can work out. Yes, it was such an amazing play, but my ears are saying no. Why? Why is there an audit there? My ears are hurting after so many rounds being heard from the side of Relic just hitting that wooden floor. But at the very end of it all, it was a lot of economic damage in the long run towards the side of Samurai Esports, primarily because you do need to remember now they no longer have that loss streak bonus. So as much damage as you can do, it can't really work out. But look at Paradox. He's gonna be able to find that one. He's actually gonna be able to get away with murder and probably survive with a third kill as well. One tap gun comes in as the backup, and Paradox. What is happening? My hands are up in the air. I'm literally doing a praise the sun emote as of right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's 7-2 on the scorecards at Paradox. He just made the impossible possible.
This is a reality check for Team Samurai Esports right now. Time and time again, they have been leaving that mid region completely unchecked. Something that really works out for them is that they can go ham on one side and really overwhelm. We have talked about this time and time again. But when they go for that split approach, when they try and get information from both A and C, they leave the mid open completely. And that allows Paradox, that allows Master so much space to work with. This time around, they're again going for that ham, YOLO push, complete side control. Crosser has been pinned down completely. He will try and get one kill, but no, INQ will deny that. 4v5, a retake on the banks of Team TRUERIPPERS. This is going to be a bit difficult for them, but Master is already on the back lines. He can make something work at this point.
Oh! Salty?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think we need to check his PC. Master, tell me where your house is. I'm going to come over personally and check your computer for a couple of things coming on down from there, because that was absolutely incredible when it came down to the game sense from the side of Masters, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be able to find that position to pick up things. They're just going to be hurting quite a lot. But Excali with a wide swing is going to be the thing that shuts down Masters and puts an end to his rampage. But at the very end of the day, this fast execution heading on down over towards that C side really did work out in favor of the side of Samurai. But at the same time, I feel as though if Crosshair didn't with that first initial bullet, and if he was able to take out IronQ, things would have been a lot more different, and the dynamic would have shifted completely in the favor of the side of TRUERIPPERS instead when it came down to that reason.
You know, honestly, I'm not even sure to feel happy or sad about Team Samurai Esports right now, because the only thing which is working out for them is to put all the eggs in one basket, and that basket is probably named A side or C side. This time around, Master in the prime position.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
The run back comes out as well, but it has been instantly countered. But Crosshair is in prime position to give them all the information in the world. A third kill yet. Master is just unleashing himself. This is how you counter a YOLO rush flashes to completely stop them on their tracks. But INQ actually shuts down one tap guard. It's gonna one tap. Relic is gonna find the second one as well. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. This one-dimensional push that was working out a few rounds ago, it's not going to work out every round, because Team TRUERIPPERS, they're going to read onto that eventually. And when they do that, this is how you're going to get countered. And what do you do after that? You give away rounds like this. This is just absolutely insane. But again, Team TRUERIPPERS, kudos to them. Their individual prowess on this map has been so brilliant. Paradox, Master, and all other players taking so much responsibility on their shoulders, and they are doing so much good work. This is absolutely insane.
Honestly, I don't know what to expect out of these teams anymore. I don't know what to expect out of TRUERIPPERS, because of Masters, he's just tearing down everyone's doors one by one. 14-5 on the Phoenix on the scorecard, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is on fire, and the side of Samurai Esports, they have no way of trying to douse this flame. And how will they douse this flame coming on down from the side of Sido? And Whip, he's gonna be able to come on down over as a backup. Excali is gonna be able to slam a dagger straight into the face of Paradox and go in for a proper jet play from his end as well. Shots are gonna be going on down all over the place. Crosshair is gonna be good for one. Relic from the top side of heaven is gonna be able to shut down another person. Black Ops says, Peekaboo, I see you. And Crosshair, he gets flanked on. He's gonna get taken on down almost instantly. But Relic, he's still alive. He's still kicking. He's gonna be able to take down a couple players for themselves as well. And with that, look at One Tap God's position. Maybe if Relic is just able to get a tiny little bit more of attention towards his side, things will be a lot more different. But with the tripwire placement coming on down through from the side of Relic, look at that tripwire, look at where the spike is. They can't go in for this for free. He's gonna get caught off guard. He's gonna go in for those shots. Relic with the game sense. He's gonna be able to get a triple kill by just holding down the heaven angle. And One Tap God comes on in as the backup. He's gonna be able to take out one more. Ladies and gentlemen, this is True Ripper for you. Every single time they defy the odds, and they are making everything that seems impossible extremely possible, taking it all away from the side of Samurai Esports. It's as if they're stealing candy from a baby at this stage.
Oh my god, I might actually sound cool on mic, but right now my mind is asking me to just smash the table right in front of me because Team True Rippers, they're just so goddamn good. Single player Relic, so much awareness on that region. He knew that the spike was dropped. He knew that he was so low on HP. He couldn't dry peek over there. As soon as the tripwire was broken through the woodworks, he gets that frag. This is so amazing. Team Samurai Esports, they're being owned right now. And for sure, Team True Rippers, they do justice to what their name is. But this can
Paradox.
really change. Paradox, he actually shut down IronQ, but was shut down in turn. So 1-for-1 trade early on, but Team Samurai Esports, will they be able to hold on to this aggression? Wim gets one, gets trade offers again. Master coming in, good for two. 2-for-2 right now. Master gets shut down. Sai again gets a double frag for himself. This is good stuff from him, but One Tap, God, One Taps him. One taps Blackhawk. 10th round on board, aggressive. I'm out of my mind already.
Yeah, you can't stop True Rippers unless you take away that first round away from them. I keep on saying this, and I will keep on saying this over and over and over again. If you are not able to take the pistol round away from the side of True Rippers right at the very beginning of the game, and you're able, even if you're not able to win out on the anti-eco round as well, things are gonna look a lot darker for you, for your team. Because now True Rippers, they have the confidence. They are just gonna tear down the entire server, and they're gonna systematically dismantle any form of a push that could come on down through from their end. And it feels as though Paradox, he's just having a little bit too much fun. He has a judge in his hand, but at the same time, he needs to be careful because Sai's right on the other side, going in for a couple of shots down towards the back end. It's gonna be Crosshair going in for a play for himself, and with that, it's pretty much already over. There's not much that they can do, but Blackhawk, maybe him with this Reaver Sheriff could be the thing that they need to shut everyone down. IronQ come on down over towards the back end. He's gonna be able to shut everyone down, but at the same time, will they be able to go up against the menace known as One Tap God with his own one taps going on down through? He's speaking left, he's speaking right, and Blackhawk's gonna be the one to shut everything down. And it's gonna be the side of Samurai Esports getting their second win and getting the 4th round on the table for their side.
Imagine the amount of pressure on Blackhawk. One Tap God has time and time again shut down those 1v2 clutches. I guess he is probably the most reliant player on the side of Team True Rippers in those clutch situations, and probably the player who terrifies Team Samurai Esports the most. But this time around with the Spectre, yeah, Blackhawk was able to shut them down. But I don't think Team True Rippers are really worried about it because most of their rush was just about a YOLO garage push, and Crosshair's position on the C corridor was pretty good as well. This time around, Team Samurai Esports going for that bonus, right? It's gonna grant them an additional advantage. Can they make it a 10-5? That's gonna be the question. Excali again doing something which Paradox gonna do time and time again, and Sai and Blackhawk, they just spray down the opposition, and only one player survives. Paradox, will he get one? Yes, he gets one through the Nebula. But we've seen him. He can pull off a clutch, a 1v4. This is something which is terribly impossible, especially with the Vandal up against Spectres. His information has been given out. Excali will not give him any sort of opportunity over there. 34 HP to work with. And with that being said, I guess Team Samurai Esports, yeah, they'll try and chase him down. How many can he pick off?
Paradox not gonna be able to find that headshot. Excali is gonna be the one to take him down instead, and that's gonna be the 10-5 scoreline and the second win that the side of Samurai Esports really did need to try and stabilize themselves just a tiny little bit. But still, Salty, you know for a fact that they cannot just, you know, give it up. They cannot just be like, hey, we're out of the danger zone and we are in the clear. It's still a 5-round lead coming on down through from the side of True Rippers. And now that they have the guns in their advantage once again, things could turn over on its head in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, I mean, that is right. This game has been very reliant on momentum, and Team True Rippers, they've had the momentum for quite a while right now, and if suddenly Team Samurai Esports put a brakes on that, this is going to be very difficult. Sai and Wim, the running back comes in, it's pretty effective over there. And Team Relic, I mean, or rather, it's Team True Rippers who comes out on top, gets 2 frag of their own. Sai has been shut down as well. They suddenly come in and get complete side control. One Tap God is also trying to get more real estate to work with and get CT control as well. Excali coming in from the back lines. No,
Not alive,
way.
not alive.
You cannot do that.
Yeah, he did. He just did it.
Oh my God, Samurai.
That's called perfect trigger discipline there, Salty. Perfect trigger discipline. Gets the first initial kill, the person who was close by him, and then gets the other kill down towards the side of a little bit more of a jumpy Relic. He was like, yeah, we're gonna win this. We're gonna take the 11th round on the board, but
Yeah.
then Excali's like, hey, you're not supposed to be jumping here. This is a tournament game, and you're supposed to take us seriously because we can go in for a comeback just as you can, late. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is where the side of Samurai, they're making their stand, and they're making sure that the side of True Rippers start taking them much more seriously. And this is a reality check coming on down through from the side of True Rippers. They need to try and stabilize themselves. They cannot take the side of Samurai Esports lightly anymore. And I need to learn that lineup as well, Salty. Make sure to take a couple of notes.
True that. But again, this is something which has worked, right? They are again trying
nice
to
shot.
pinch them from different directions. Look at how much space the Cypher has got, right? Going aggressive on the C corridor, pushing and tunnel visioning Team True Rippers to go aggressive on the garage area. They have managed to actually push out Blackhawk, but that's about it, right? Sai is in prime position, shut down Paradox, and anybody, in fact, coming in from that garage area. Master connecting that 1 tap. Will he get that one onto Sai? Not this time around, but Cross is gonna get that. Excali coming in from the back line.
Is this gonna happen?
Finds Excali. This is insane on the eco round. Team True Rippers complete side control to work with. They have got the weaponry to work with as well. 1 tap, he gets
It just
whipped,
happened.
and Paradox shut down INQ. And honestly, in spite of all that heavy lifting, in spite of that early game advantage where they go in for that wall bang kill, right? Sai got that wall bang kill onto the Cypher Relic. The Jet pushing in from the A corridor, the Cypher pushing in from the C corridor. They pinched them down and tunnel vision into that B garage push, but still couldn't contain the aggression. This is Team True Rippers, and justifying their name, they are ripping apart Team Samurai Esports in every facet of the game right now.
Always say this, and if you crouch against the Sheriff, you're gonna get 1 tap no matter what happens. That's exactly what happened. Master went in for that swing. He was able to get such a clean tap down towards the side of Blackhawk, and they were just not ready for it. Those Sheriffs are so dangerous, but at the same time, Sai! He wanted to go in for an aggressive play, but you cannot hoodwink the lurker known as Relic. He knows exactly where he needs to wallbang at because that's his favorite position. That's where that Cypher loves to be at every single time whenever they go in for a B-side execute. The flashes are going to be going on down through, but at the same time, that flash is just not working out in their favor. It's going to be Paradox instead, getting a couple of bullets into his skull with that Spectre coming on down through from the side of Blackhawk. And Whip is going to be coming on down over as the backup, but the trades are just not going in the favor of the side of the defenders, ladies and gentlemen. And it is going to be True Rippers being able to shut everyone down, probably. Excali knows for a fact that it is going to be a right-sided play coming on down through from the side of 1 tap corridor. Both of the members of the side of the defense, they're extremely low when it comes down to the terms of their HP. The Cypher's hand does come out, and he says, good day to you, sir, and reveals all of the position coming on down through from the side of the attackers. But still, this is a far cry from what the side of Samurai Esports really want. Excali hits the next for just a second, and it's going to be Master being able to shut down that first initial player. Spots on the gun barrel coming on down from the side of Relic, but he is not expecting the double peak to be this clean from the side of True Rippers, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Relic going in for that swing, Relic going in for that kill, and him taking the side of True Rippers over to 12 rounds on the board and taking down the map of Haven to a 12-6 scoreline as we head on down over to the match point round for the side of True Rippers.
Honestly, I was pretty paranoid of the fact that Master and 1 tap got at a role reversal. You know, the Omen and the Phoenix reversal. You expect the duelist to kind of pick up a different duelist on a different map, but Master has stood up to the task and he is just destroying the opposition right now. They're pulling off a page of Team Samurai Esports' playbook. Team TRUERIPPERS, they want to go ham on the C side. The jet goes flying, but this time around, Excali's blades are the ones who sing. Takes down the run it back as well. The Hunter's Fury is going to clean out a few corners, but Blackhawk, through the smoke, finds Master. 2 players down. 3v5 is what we have right now.
In this 3 versus 5 situation, things are just looking up and up and up for the side of Samurai Esports, and it feels as though this is the play that they needed. Probably this is the thing that they want to try and survive for as long as they possibly can. And Excali pulls up a little bit of a Korean jet action coming on down through with that dash. He's gonna be able to take a couple of players. And here you can see Blackhawk, he's trying to raise team morale by making everyone a lot more happier. He's trying to tell the guys, hey guys, loosen up. We can try and go in for a comeback. It's still on a 12-7 scoreline. We can do pretty much everything, but all the other members of the side of Team Samurai Esports, they're just as serious. They're like, we need to try and win this. There is no way we can take this one out, because that's going to be a massive blow when it comes down to our pride as well. Yes, we don't have any stakes. Yes, we are going to be heading down over onto playoffs no matter what happens, but at this stage, you are fighting for your own pride, and you need to make sure that you don't lose that moving on down forward, because TRUERIPPERS, they have nothing to lose, and they're playing exactly like that.
Spike down A.
1-for-1 trade early on. Wimp will try and challenge the same angle, but then Team TRUERIPPERS have already made their way in, right? Master is slowly pressing towards the A corridor, but good stuff from them to actually fall back and not reinvest in that A push any further. But Master's position, that's probably going to sell a fake. They probably will try and keep Team Samurai Esports at bay, but good read from them as well. They're still in position on the C side. Look at that. The Cypher is there. The Blackhawk is still positioned in the garage area as well. If Team TRUERIPPERS, they are trying to go to their different sides, I guess they'll have the resources to battle them. But this time around, the Astral Divide comes out as well. And I guess Wimp will just wait for Master to begin. Wonderful stuff over there. Gets one important frag. 3-4 is what we can see right now.
Honestly, at this stage, what can you really do to try and clutch out this round? Look at Ayan's positioning. He knows exactly where Paradox is, and he's like, oh, hello, Paradox. Do you want to go somewhere? I don't think I'm going to be letting you go down anywhere. He's going to be able to shut down one more. Blackhawk's going to be good for another player as well, and with that, it's just one tap god trying to go in for a play, but Wimp, he's just a little bit too quick. He's going to be able to take down the side of that Omen almost instantly, and with that, it's a 12-8 scoreline right as of right now, Salty. And slowly but surely, the side of Samurai Esports are bringing it back down to their end. But this is really smart coming on down through from the side of TRUERIPPERS. The fact that they took this timeout, this will change the entire dynamic of the side of Samurai Esports. Primarily because of one thing. Not only are they able to put a halt to the momentum and the force coming on down through from the side of Samurai Esports, they're going to be able to take a deep breath and try and understand what they're doing wrong, because a lot of the teams have fallen into this dynamic where they are on a 12-6 scoreline, and then with a snap of a finger, it's already over and they're on a 12-12, and the opponent team, they're like, what just happened? Weren't we supposed to win? So taking these timeouts are very crucial to try and stabilize yourself mentally as well as strategically as a team. And hopefully the side of TRUERIPPERS with this timeout are going to be able to plan out a proper strategy to go up against the adaptive plays that the side of Samurai Esports have shown over on their previous rounds.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, you just explained that to perfection. I guess Team Samurai Esports, they are certainly on the way, right? 8-12 isn't that bad a scoreline, to be honest, and anything can happen. And we've seen the Team TRUERIPPERS are trying to kind of pull off a page off of Team Samurai Esports' playbook, right? They're trying to put all their eggs on one side, which hasn't really been working. They were pretty good on this split play. So why and change up things up? Excali with it all being as decisive as ever. Might actually get a second one as well. Sai gets the second one on Paradox. So no site entry, no information being given out there. But I guess that's about it. I guess the third kill comes in from Blackhawk, fourth from Sai, and a triple up for Sai because he's going to shut down the entire team. But I don't think Team TRUERIPPERS are going to be pretty sad with that because it was the eco round anyway. But on their gun rounds, I want to see something different, right? They just need one more round. And Samurai Esports kind of momentum that they show, it's like a pendulum, right? It shifted from TRUERIPPERS' position to Samurai Esports' extreme. And right now, if Team TRUERIPPERS cannot put a halt to this, they're gonna walk away with the match, to 12-12 and probably potentially take it to overtime.
this stage, it's all about trying to end this off as quickly as they possibly can, because the side of
Yeah.
True Rippers, they don't really have a lot of room to work with, because the Samurai are able to take it down over onto map number 3. Things are gonna look really dark for the side of True Rippers, because when it comes down to the track record of Split, yeah, their track record isn't the greatest. It's even worse than the side of Samurai Esports analytically. So they need to be very much careful, and they need to try and close out this as fast as they possibly can. But at the same
Lovely
time,
work.
Relic, his tripwire has actually been completely bamboozled. They don't know what to expect, and it's gonna be Excali coming on down through on that operator, expecting a push come from the side of Masters over towards that right-hand side cubby, and it's already pretty much over. Excali's gonna be able to take down Paradox as well, and the shots are just all over the place. Sai, he's the boogeyman right now. He's gonna be able to take down one. He wants to take down another, but Relic, 180 headshot straight to the forehead.
Yeah.
Well, that's this Relic for you, ladies and gentlemen. This Cypher on that lurk, you don't lurk the lurker lurks you.
Great statement over there, but yeah, 2v4 is going to be a bit difficult for Team True Rippers to kind of make anything of this
30
round.
seconds
They want to
left.
finish it quick, right? We've seen games really take an ugly turn from 12 to 10 scoreline onwards. This time around, Excali has been so decisive on that operator position reveal. The Omen is
One enemy
completely open over there, and 2 quick frags. Excali, especially after jumping down, didn't land the shot jumping down. I'm not sure if he can do that, or if it is even possible. But the fact that Team Samurai Esports, they're clinching forward and really climbing back to the top and making things even. Yeah, this sounds like an impending doom for Team True Rippers, because they don't want to give away this amazing performance. They were super dominant. But speak of that, Team Samurai Esports, they're doing the same thing right now. So it's a fairly even playing field at this point, aggressive.
I don't know how I feel about both of these teams going up against each other anymore. Once again, if we see another overtime after a very decisive victory coming on down through initially, like the side of Samurai Esports did on map number 1, I don't know, man. I'm gonna feel quite distraught trying to go in and cast that overtime. Because the side of True Rippers, they deserve this win, but at the same time, Samurai Esports, they deserve this win as well. They're able to dig deep, they're able to change up their strategy, and they are constantly evolving as a team. And now INQ is going to be the one to go in for the evolution. He's probably going to be able to spot out the head of Masters almost immediately and maybe go in for that kill. But Relic, he's still not suspecting this. They're still not checking down this angle. They don't know what to go for. They don't know what to expect. And it is going to be INQ going in for that spray. He's not going to be able to go in for a kill, but the cross is in position. It's not been found out. They don't know what Ion's going to be holding on down onto. INQ's going to be able to survive. He's going to be able to survive for as long as he possibly can. Shots are going to be going on down all over the place. Excali going to go down over with the knives. He's going to be good for one. One F-Gun's going to be able to take down INQ, but he's not going to be able to take down Sai, who's ready to go in for that trade. And things just started and already tumbled as well for the side of True Rippers, ladies and gentlemen. The communication gap right at the very end, and the confusion coming on down from the side of Relic, who didn't know where he got shot from, just completely changed the dynamic of that round entirely. And with that, it just started and it's already over, Salty. It's gonna be 12 and 11 on the scorecards for the side of Samurai Esports, and
Yeah.
there is not even enough for a proper buy for the side of True Rippers.
1 round away from overtime. And you mentioned it rightly, right? On their good day, they are certainly good enough to take the best of teams, and we got to see that, right? But you talked about that miscommunication between them, and it feels like that is probably happening right now. I'm not sure if that's miscommunication, but things are not falling into place for Team True Rippers. One time bot certainly is still kicking in. And in the recent rounds, right, Excali has been pretty damn impressive with that off. And if that continues, I guess
what the
that's going to
God.
be so good. I mean, Blackhawk, what are you doing in his territory? But Relic and Masters, they kind of even down things. 3v2,
Spike?
this can still happen, but they don't really have the spike. Wait, what? Master takes down side. The running back has been neutralized. Blackhawk on 6 HP. This can really work out for them. Team True Rippers, they can kind of make it work. But no side. He takes a Master. He can isolate his net. All
Ice
of
is
them
too
line
good.
up.
Ice is too good.
This is insane. This is absolutely this is insane, man.
Switching sides.
Honestly,
Overtime.
the one through the shadows being used by one tap god, I think that, yeah, that one small misplay just costed them this entire round. The Omen had the spike on him, and he went in for an aggressive play. Yes, he was
Yeah.
able to get one kill, but at the end of the day, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That was a little
Yeah.
bit too aggressive, and the communication was just not there. It feels as though it's like an utter breakdown and a choke coming on down through from the side of True Rippers. And this should not be happening. This is going to be going on down onto overtime, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know how I feel. I feel as though the entirety of True Rippers, they just toyed with my feelings. And at this stage, my heart is just broken. But at the same time, I'm really happy as well because Samurai Esports, they pulled themselves back from the brink of defeat from a 12-6 scoreline, Salty. A 12-6 scoreline.
It's not just 12-6. I guess it was a 10-3 scoreline and a 10-3 or 9-3 scoreline. So I remember them being almost pincered, but this time around they have early side control. Team
Spike planted.
Samurai Esports plant the spike and a 5v5 retake, and the ball is going to be on the court of Team True Rippers. They need to make something happen. No information as of yet for Team True Rippers to work with. Some of them, oh my god, Paradox with York being really good. The flash comes out. Xcat is in prime position to shut them down. But Paradox with York, these jets are so damn good with York. But this time around, the Wimp and Blackhawk as well as side the triple up. Make it a double for Wimp because they completely shut down. And the shutters are down on the retake. Sai gets a double for himself as well. And Team Samurai Esports, they are climbing back, and probably for the first time in a while, they get the lead in this game. Imagine clenching onto the game for as long as till overtime before you get the first lead. Yeah, that's the strength of character from Team Samurai Esports.
Samurai Esports, they're not ready to give this up just yet. They want to go in for more, and they want to show what they can really do on the server here, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you show your support towards your own team. Spam those emotes down with those memberships that you have bought out, because these teams, they need your support to try and close out this map, because now the side of True Rippers, their backs are against the wall, and it could be the side of Samurai Esports taking it all away and sending us over onto map number 3. And the real question here now, ladies and gentlemen, is whether or not the side of Samurai Esports will be able to close this one out, or are we going to be going into overtime number 2 once again with the side of True Rippers going in for a possible comeback. Anything is pretty much possible moving on down the line, and it feels as though True Rippers, they're second guessing themselves. They're playing it a lot more slower, and they're playing it a lot more smarter as well. And do you know what I love coming on down from all of this? It could be the fact that they're playing it a lot more systematically, but at the same time they need to be careful, because look at Paradox. He just walks on down over towards the side. He's only gonna be able to get a kill for himself as well. He just shut down one, but still Weapon Iron Q's gonna be there to make sure they go in for those trades. They're gonna be able to survive. They're gonna be able to go in for a couple of plays, and it's already over just as we start. Ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be Wimbin Iron Q holding down the fort down towards that A side, and GG. Well played coming on down from the side of Samurai Esports, right from the brink of defeat, ladies and gentlemen. They bring it all back and they take it all home. It's gonna be the 12-14 score line, ladies and gentlemen, and it's gonna be the side of Samurai Esports bringing it all back in their favor.
I'm not sure. I just witnessed, honestly. This is absolute carnage, mayhem, everything just going down to the wire. And the fact the team True Rippers just couldn't convert on that lead that they had and completely choked at the end of it, yeah, that was just weird to me.
Yeah, honestly, the side of Samurai Esports, they were able to dig in deep, and they were able to close out the entire map in such a convincing fashion. But at the same time, let's head on down over towards the match highlights to see exactly what went wrong for the side of True Rippers, because honestly, Salty, I really didn't think that this was going to happen. True Rippers, they had all of the advantages. They had so many rounds in their favor, but they fell into that trap that I was talking about. When you go over to that 12th round on a massive lead, you have that tendency of choking and just completely shutting down any hopes that you have of trying to close out that map. And that's kind of what happened here. True Rippers, it felt as though there was a massive communication gap coming on down from the players. Yes, they were hitting all of their shots. Yes, they were ready to take a lot of those different engagements, but you just can't do that here. The fact that they were consistently going in for those aggressive plays, they were not playing down together as a team as they did previously down on their own defensive side. They were just trying to close out the map on their own individual skill instead of the prowess of the team. And that's why the side of Samurai Esports, they were able to come on down together right at the very end and exploit all of the weaknesses being showed by the side of True Rippers and take us down over onto map number 3, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. And again, right? I mean, Haven has been considered to be a sort of an attacking map, but talking about the defenders this time, I guess they pulled off similar tactics. True Rippers on defense, Samurai Esports on defense, their early mid aggression, pushing up towards the B window corridor, or sometimes, tunnel visioning them to go ham on that garage in the B area by pincering them from the A corridor and the C corridor as well. A lot of things boiled down to the wire, and a lot of things were pretty similar and almost identical, to be honest, from both the side of Team True Rippers and Samurai Esports. And honestly, I'm not sure how to feel about it. I feel like that has become the staple way of playing Haven, but the fact that Team Samurai Esports did exactly what Team True Rippers did, but they still couldn't read onto that playstyle and innovate maybe mid game and get a round for themselves, especially after being 12-6, that's sort of nuts, because the fact that the map went to overtime is a testament to the strength of character for Team Samurai Esports. For sure, I did expect this game to go to overtime because Samurai Esports are very good in kind of going for that comebacks. But I was also expecting Team True Rippers to kind of give away a few rounds, maybe take it to a 12-10, and then close it down. I thought that they will be able to close it down, but I didn't think that Samurai Esports will completely overturn the things.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there because the fact that Samurai Esports were able to take this, not only will this be a massive blow moving on down towards the side of True Rippers, it's going to be a massive reality check as well because they can no longer just completely deny the fact that Samurai Esports have no way of trying to win this one out. They need to be very, very, very careful in the way they take a lot of their different engagements when we move on down over towards the side of split. But as we are going to be moving on down there, ladies and gentlemen, all the players, they're going to be needing a lot of energy. So make sure that you have your energy down as well and scan that QR code that's going to be showing up soon enough down below over on the bottom right side. Get yourself a can of Red Bull. Get yourself energized because map number 3, if it's anything like map number 1 and map number 2, if it goes down into overtime again, I personally am going to need my Red Bull. I got to start drinking. I need to get myself pumped up because both of these teams, they are not going to be letting out the gas pedals for even a second, and so aren't we. So we are going to be hitting on down, over, and setting up the entire match for you. And we'll be back with you real shortly with the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by WWE Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. We'll catch you in just a little bit. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by W Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. We are back once again, ladies and gentlemen, with this intense matchup. And after match number 1 going into overtime and also match number 2, I'm running out of energy, so I need to get myself a can of Red Bull, and you should as well, as we are going to be heading on down over to the map video screen. So make sure to go and scan that QR code that is going to be showing on up soon enough as we do move over to the casters cam. But let's just talk a little bit more about the maps. Salty,
Yeah.
map number 1, my feelings got toyed with. In map number 2, Samurai Esports are like, what do you mean by feelings? I'm going to rip your heart out and I'm going to throw it out of the window. 15 and 13,
True that, I guess.
14 and 12, and now over towards the
Yeah.
map of Split. I want to hear your thoughts.
Both the maps, 2 overtimes from a position which shouldn't really have been overtimes, honestly. Isn't it aggressive? What do you think? Like, I don't really think there was a necessity for an overtime in the first game. For sure, it was a bit close. 12-10 is a pretty tight scoreline. But on the second game, holy hell, it was mayhem. And the way Samurai Esports came back, that was absolutely insane. Now, we set up a final decider on Split, which is kind of a good map. I'm expecting a lot of similar features on this map as well. A mid control essential. We have Blackhawk, who's on Breach this time, Crosshair on Brimstone. We have a lot of different stuff that's happening aggressive, and I'm excited for what's coming.
I am very excited to see Blackhawk going on that breach. He is such a treat to watch every single time he picks up that breach. But at the same time, a lot more emphasis will be falling towards the side of Excali being able to coordinate properly with the side of Blackhawk and then come out on top in a lot of those different engagements, because that flash and dash is so much more crucial whenever you're heading on down over to the map of Split, because that's your entire setup, that's your entire strategy to go in for a lot of these side entries. And when it comes down to the side of the defense, that breach is so much more important whenever there is an execution down towards that B side. Let's forget about the A side. We're going to leave that A side down towards the Sentinels. But that B side, it's the breach's playground. There are a lot of different angles you can use that flash through. And it all really does fall onto the shoulders of Blackhawk. And at this stage, will Blackhawk be able to carry a lot of the pressure that he is being forced onto by playing that breach? Or will he falter under that pressure? And will it be the side of TRUERIPPERS just taking away map number 3 in their favor?
Yep. We can see a double sentinel setup from Team TRUERIPPERS in this defense. They start on defense, which should be a good start from them effectively, but then we need to find out if they can actually hold on, right? Cypher on the A side will try and shut that down with the tripwires. We have Sage, whose mid wall is going to be a bit crucial, and I can't see the same mid wall from Team Samurai Esports. So we have a conflict of interest, and we need to see how they can battle using it one tap god, of course, on the Sheriff. And we can see that all of Team Samurai Esports, they are trying to huddle outside the mid.
Yeah, and now with that first initial gravity well going on through Masters, he catches Sai off guard, and he's actually gonna be able to survive for just a little while longer, but still Excali, yeah, his phone number calls him up and takes 2 people back home, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you do when you're onto the side of Excali. the talent on this guy when it comes down to his raw mechanical potential is just a little bit too good. It's gonna be one tap God going in for a couple plays for himself. We're using that Sheriff, maybe getting one more kill for himself. He's actually gonna be able to find another one tap, but now Paradox is not gonna be able to survive for long. He tries to go in for those plays. He tries to go in for those legs. He's gonna be good for one. He is not gonna be good for one. Sorry about that. I called it a little bit too early in the Caster's Curse. Just kicked in right in the nick of time. And it is gonna be Paradox just falling a little too short when it came down to a couple of his shots. And at the end of the day, it is gonna be the side of True Rippers losing out on a round, and the side of Samurai Esports being able to survive and keep things going for their side.
Yep. And early start for them, right? We saw the team Samurai Esports. They went on to top gear in the last game pretty late, right? It was 12-6 when they really started heating things up. But this time around, they are good to go right off the bat. The breach kind of dazzles everybody. But in the process, look at what One Tap God is trying to do, right? He's still trying to aggress further, looking for that one-tap shot onto someone. Does not find anybody. Excali and Blackhawk, they get 2 kills right off the bat. So 5v3 setup and crossfire, or rather crosshair, pardon me for that. Getting the orb and falling back will invite some aggression from the B main region as well. But look at that, Samurai Esports, they're already at defenders spawn and they're pinching them from all different directions, from the heavens area, from spawn as well, from B main region, and there's nothing the team TRUERIPPERS can really do about it.
Yeah, the level of pincer coming on down through from all the members of the side of Samurai Esports just goes to show that they're ready for those engagements and they're ready to take the world by storm right at the very beginning stages. And now, here's where I test my theory, Salty. If the side of TRUERIPPERS are not able to win out on this round, it's gonna be a very decisive win coming on down through from the side of Samurai Esports. I'm gonna lean back, I'm gonna give you the mic, and I'm just gonna wait and see what the side of TRUERIPPERS can do, because if they don't win out here, I'm gonna call it it's pretty much all but over.
Alright then, let's test it. The team TRUERIPPERS, are they prepared for this aggressive push? Cross gets side. He gets a second one. Excalibur with Boom Buddy. He gets right good stuff over there, but Blackhawk and others, they've already made their way in. The breach is being very crucial right now. But Cross and Paradox, Crossing gets its third, interestingly enough, IQ, the only player who survives. And surprisingly enough, Team Samurai Esports, yeah, the third consecutive round for them, it looks like a dream for them, right?
Yeah, I think that my theory is still gonna be holding down strong, and we know for a fact that it's heading down over onto a 1 and 2 scoreline. Enough, INQ maybe he should be able to find something. Maybe he can get 1 kill at the bare minimum, but One Tap God, he was expecting that peak to happen. Spots on the shoulder of INQ, goes in for a couple of easy shots, and with its beautiful spray control, he's gonna be able to take down one more player for himself. And with that, the side of TRUERIPPERS, they bring it on back down to a possible even Steven scoreline as they take away the bonus round away from the side of Samurai Esports. But at the same time, you saw what happened there, Salty. Excali, he felt the brunt of that jet nerf going on through, that she can no longer dash through Cypher tripwires, and Crosshair is like, oh, hello there, I see a wild jet. And there is nothing like Excali could have done to survive that.
True that. I guess it's going to take some time before these players can actually fit in their muscle memory and kind of adjust to the nerve that's been, but Sai trying to be a bit cheeky, trying to go in aggressive, but Paradox is in a good position to kind of take down any sort of mid-aggression over there. Even the Brimstone kind of putting down a molly over there to just stop them on their tracks. Will it be successful? I'm not sure. Instead, they're actually focusing on the rope room right now, and One Tap God is in prime position to shut this down as well. So they have sort of surrounded Team Samurai Esports, and Samurai Esports need to look for more avenues, and they have that. The A main, look at that. The wall has been broken already, and they can sort of experiment something. If the Sage is taken down, I guess that is going to be a clear indication that they can make something work. Master gets one, instantly gets traded off. One Tap God will be dashed, but the Boom Body might actually make something happen. What do you think? Aggressive. What's going to happen right now? Excalibur trying to wipe the spray, comes in, gets one, gets traded down. Blackhawk gets two. Good stuff, but a 1v2 at 25 HP, it looks to be a bit daunting.
Yeah, Blackhawk, he's not in the best of positions to go in for that play. Relic's gonna be able to spot him out, go in for a beautiful white swing, and just tap Blackhawk on the forehead gently, give him that love tap, That's gonna cause like about what 156 damage when he is at 21 HP. To add insult to injury, that's gonna be 2 and 2 on the scorecards. Coming on down through for the side of True Rippers, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, we're back on that even Steven scoreline every single time. Other than map number 2, of course, where the side of True Rippers were able to take a 6 and 0 scoreline. But this is gonna be exactly what happened in map number 1. So I feel as though we could see the same dynamic happen once again, but at the same time here, Salty, I want to ask you this question. Do you think that not having that Astra is going to hurt a lot towards the side of TRUERIPPERS once again? Or will they be able to do a lot more? But just as I was talking about that, one tap god gets a triple kill, and Relic once again just shuts down Sai, and Sai is like, why?
Oh my god, Wim. Oh boy. Fancy footwork from one tap god, and especially with the blast back. He was flying through the air, and the way he took down Wimp was... It was pure highlight material, a 4th kill for him in that round. But yep, coming back to your question, I feel like the Astra is going to be a bit important agent, especially on Ascent, right? Especially when you have those short passages, those choke points. Yep, you can deploy a few stars over there and couple up with the gravity well in the smoke and disguise that perfectly. It is a very good utility to have, especially compared to the Brimstone. I feel like the old man has sort of become a bit irrelevant, honestly. But then I want to look at team TRUERIPPERS Crosshair and see how he can actually pull that off.
Yeah, the Brimstone is going to be a little bit more difficult to get a lot of value out of. But at the same time, what I'm really loving coming on down through from the side of TRUERIPPERS is the trap placements from the side of Relic. This guy is the bane of Sai's existence. Sai doesn't know what to do to try and get himself down onto a side. Every single time he dash, Sai just got caught by a tripwire, and he's just like a yo-yo. He's going back, he's going forth, he's going back, he's going forth. He's just stuck in one place, and Sai's like, just let me go, Relic. Please, I want to get down inside of the side. I want to make some plays happen. But Relic is like, no, you're a good boy. Stay in your side. This is a wall. This is Trump's wall, and you're not supposed to go down towards that other side. And Relic, he's making sure that he makes that wall as difficult as possible for the side of Samurai Esports to try and break into. But speaking of walls, it's going to be Master putting up a wall down towards the side of mid, ladies and gentlemen. And with this is going to slow down a lot of these aggressive pushes that could be coming on down through from the side of Samurai Esports.
Yeah. And again, I feel like the double Sentinel setup is actually working fine for Team TRUERIPPERS. You mentioned about Astra. You're sure the deficit is going to be there, but I don't really think they really need that Astra because Cypher is doing much of the work, especially with a tripwire, especially with that cam. A lot of intel as well as a lot of those gravity well stuff is being done by the tripwire. Sure, there is like no movement whatsoever. The mobility factor is there, but the fact that you have a smoker and you have someone who can shut down those aggressive pushes just goes to show that Team TRUERIPPERS have those bases covered. Talking about this round, though, Team Samurai Esports, they're trying to make something happen from mid, right? They've done this time and time again. They've accepted the fact that a YOLO B rush wouldn't really be successful, courtesy those tripwires, courtesy those cypher positions and the placements. Also, the A push hasn't really been that successful. So they're really trying to explore avenues on the mid region. Most of the time that has been kind of successful, but this time around, the rolling thunder comes in. Oh, look at that orbital strike, couple it up with this slow orb. That was just purely brilliant.
Yeah, that was such a brilliant play coming on down through from the side of Masters. Like, what is these plays? What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? This was a fast rush coming on down through from the side of the attackers. They just rushed themselves down towards the side and maybe went in for the possible play, but one tap god. He knew exactly where Sai was. He could smell the fear coming on down from the side of Sai and the sweat coming on down from his forehead, but at the same time, the sweat is just a little bit too potent coming on down through from the side of TRUERIPPERS. This would have been going on down over towards the side of the defenders, but the round just started and it flipped on its head in a matter of seconds. The crossfire is just a little bit too clean from the side of Samurai Esports, and they're going to be able to take the third round on the board for their side. Salty, what just happened here?
All right, I'll just count down how many ultimates did we see in that round. All right, first up, the Rolling Thunder from the Breach, number 1. Number 2 was the Showstopper from the Attacking Rays. Number 3 was that orbital strike from the defender Brimstone. Number 4 was that lockdown from the attacking KJ. And number 5 was the showstopper from the defender Ray. So there were 5 ultimates being invested. Talk about ultimates. Yeah, that was a pretty expensive round, and on the back of it, sure, Team Samurai Esports, they got that round. Look at this trade though. Master and Blackhawk, they get kills individually. Paradox is in prime position. A pixel peek and it shut down INQ just like that.
Smoke's down.
This thing's actually going to be looking up just a tiny little bit more, but at the same time, look at the positioning coming on down through from the side of Crosshair, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be good for 1, he's going to be good for 2, and Crosshair, he's like that bane of the side of Samurai Esports. What do you do against such an amazing player known as Crosshair? He's just going to be holding down the fort. He has his buddy One Tap God on his side, and when he just went out of the fire, went out of the frying pans and straight into the fire. He had nowhere to go. Last member remaining, that's gonna hurt quite a lot. And TRUERIPPERS, they mean business, but at the same time, I think that this is gonna be a really close call coming down from both of these teams. We're gonna see a repeat of what happened on map number 1, and this could just be the 14 and 12 scoreline that I was dreading to happen.
14 to 12. By the looks of it, the stats do speak for themselves. The attacking Team Samurai Esports, send 1 player down the A area, right? INQ will have a little bit of responsibility, completely shut down by the barrier orb over there, and 4 players trying to go on a hype train, trying to travel down the mid corridor and trying to make something happen. They've done this time and time again. The mid aggression is really difficult for them to kind of shut down, and the fact that they're investing onto the wall on the A side is something which is interesting. The orb shot misses on the second occasion, but he does get Psy in the process. And even Blackhawk and others, they changed their focus, right? They want to go towards the A side, do they? Nope.
Yeah, where are they trying to go?
They are trying to go towards the B side. I mean, I thought that they hesitated for a moment on their move towards the B side, but then they stopped in their tracks and they moved back towards B, and that is the reason why Paradox is positioned wonderfully. INQ does one tap God in return. He one taps Paradox as well. Oh my god, will he get? He won't get Master in the process. Master finally gets Ian, and yep, good stuff from him. But I think I just noticed one thing. Sorry to cut you off there, but Master has played 3 different categories of agent. He started off with a controller, then he moved on to a duelist, now he's a sentinel. Talk about versatility. Master steps up.
Hey, he's the master. You're not supposed to try and say anything about the master because the master can master pretty much everything, and that's a lot of masters in one sentence. But hey, moving on down forward from that, when you look at his versatility, he will always show up. Because I always say this, you can take the duelist away from a person, but you cannot take away his aim. And Masters is showing exactly that. He has that aim, he has that versatility, and he knows exactly how to adapt to what his team needs every single time. And now on this battle stage, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to be able to spot out the head of Excali. He's going to be able to take down one. One tap God coming on down from the silence as well. Gets another kill for himself. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, things are showing up massively down for the side of TRUERIPPERS, and one by one, they're able to tear through any hopes and dreams coming out down from the side of Samurai Esports. And it's now down to a 6-3 scoreline, Salty. And I don't know how I feel. Feel as though this could be another massive round win coming on down through from the side of TRUERIPPERS, taking us down to a 9-3 scoreline, and possibly a repeat of what happened in map number 2.
I mean, that can happen, but aggressive. I mean, do you think, I mean, this is going to be a big statement, but do you think like Team Samurai Esports is just being a bit too one-dimensional because they're trying to make something happen from mid a lot without investing too much on the A and the B side respectively? Do you think that's the case?
I feel as though they're not investing enough resources down towards the side of mid. Tell me honestly, how many flashes and dashes combinations are we seeing coming on down from the side of Blackhawk? And of course,
no way.
Like,
That's gonna hurt.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt quite a lot because now there is no more Ion, there is no more lockdown, and there is no way to watch that flank. But moving on back to the question that I was imposing previously, how much utility is the side of Samurai Esports actually investing in a form of their push? Not much. Only a couple of smokes and maybe a flash. And that's pretty much
Yep.
it. They're not investing more than that. You cannot take mid control without investing a lot of resources. And the fact that Samurai Esports have so much when it comes down to terms of resources, and the fact that they're not using it, it's gonna hurt quite a lot. But just as I was talking about resources, they dropped everything other than the kitchen sink down towards that B side.
Yeah, the astral divide, the rolling thunder, everything comes in flying. And they hit Team TRUERIPPERS like a truck at full speed. Now the flash is ready. Wimp gets Paradox. That's one important player down. 3v3 setup. Blackhawk looks in the wrong direction. One tap gun will shut him down. 2v3. The spray comes in and Master. He puts the bullet to the brain, not just to the brain, but the heart of Team Samurai Esports and completely shut them down. Rescues the operator. But yeah, I mean, you talked about resources, you talked about utility, and the only utility that I've seen being really effective is a Rolling Thunder from the breach. Apart from that, the flash and the supposed flash and dash combo has been almost non-existent. The astral divide, the gravity well, they haven't been utilized that well. They are being counted from the heaven region as well. And then contrary, a brimstone who's supposedly to have a kit which is not as good as someone like an Astra or a Breach, is pulling off something insane at the mid area, right? Crosshair wonderfully using his stim beacon, the Molotov to stop the mid aggression, the smokes to delay them any sort of information. I feel like it's a battle of utility at this point.
It uses a crosshair. He was trying to test out Psy's reaction speed, and he nearly got killed for that Psy. Barely, maybe 30 milliseconds off that first initial shot. It's gonna hurt just a tiny little bit, but at the same time, hey, the side of TRUERIPPERS, they're gonna be ready for a couple of their own engagements, but Paradox, you don't go in for a play like that, especially when you're playing Jet Roulette. Jet Roulette is something that you want to play when you are safe. But I think that Paradox, he was just feeling himself a little bit too much there. There's not much that you can say about this man. Paradox is just doing Paradox things.
Yeah, Paradox doing paradoxical things. I mean, by the looks of it, they have dropped the spike nearby the B Heaven region. Crosshair, I don't think he knows that INQ is in this position.
No.
And INQ, no, they're staring at each other.
Maxwell!
Crosshair crouches at the right time. INQ releases that crouch at the wrong timing. Scally finds Master on the A Heavens region as well. So a 3v4 brought down to a 4v2 right now. Team
30 seconds
TRUERIPPERS,
left.
they are en route to kind of give away this round because Relic as well as the other players, they are kind of caught out, right? Team Samurai Esports, this was a good fake. The fact that they go down to the rope room
Last
and then
round
come back
in the
again,
half.
the baited Paradox to go in for that risky play with a right click and then traded him out perfectly. They go back towards the B side and kind of overwhelm the numbers advantage to their favor and take down individual players from TRUERIPPERS one by one. That's so good to watch.
That was perfect and all, but at the same time, you know about the mouse wheel jump dynamic, right? Don't you, Salty?
Enlighten me on that.
So basically, there are a lot of players that love to keep their jump on their mouse wheel because it helps them bunny hop a lot more better.
Yeah.
And Ion, I think he fell into that trap. He got scared, and then he accidentally pushed up his mouse wheel and jumped at the wrong time. That's gonna hurt
Oh.
quite a lot, but hey, in the long run, it's not gonna hurt as much because his team was still able to win out the round. But now, this time around, Excali, he pulled out that showstopper, gets shut down by Paradox almost immediately because of that operator. But at the same time, this time around, he should be able to redeem himself. He should be able to try and find out something for his team at the bare minimum. But the shots are gonna be going on in. They need to be careful, and Paradox! He gets away with murder. He's actually gonna be able to survive for a pretty long time as well. Blackhawk's gonna be good for one. But with that lockdown now shutting down two players, they need to be very much careful. All the members of the side of TRUERIPPERS are holding down from inside of that defender side at spawn. And with the plan now going on down through and Blackhawk in forward positions holding on down from the side of the Heavens, he needs to try and go in for a kill, and he's gonna be able to get a couple for himself as well. That's gonna be a 4K coming on down through. Blackhawk's looking for one more. He's gonna be able to find this ace. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't give Blackhawk that initiator, because as soon as he finds it, he's gonna tear you down, rip you apart, and send you back home. Samurai Esports, they take it down to a 7-5 with a comfortable lead down for their side.
Absolutely. As soon as Paradox shut down the showstopper, I almost felt like, oh, we're going to 8-4. But then the lockdown comes in. The lockdown was so perfect. He plays, the 2 players got detained for sure, kind of due to individual business. I felt like One Tap was just holding on inside the lockdown a bit too much. He was in that suicide position. He was on that suicide mission to try and stop the aggression in its tracks. But then he kind of fell apart. The plan wasn't really successful. But the fact that the 4-player team TRUERIPPERS was shut down by Blackhawk so easily, as soon as he found his real estate on the Heavens region on B side, that was it, right? He could shut down 2 players, 2 players just lined it up for him, and then the final one was just absolutely brilliant. An ace for Blackhawk, one of the first of today. But this time around, Team TRUERIPPERS, they'll have business to do on the attacking side. What do you think, Aggressive? What do you think will they try and do? This time around, they try and sort of bait out a few utility on the A side and then move towards mid area. Kind of like the Ascent map, we feel like in Split as well, mid control is so essential. Blackhawk with the Ghost will isolate these players. He does have the flash as well. So all these players will be flashed out, but Crosshair is there to trade him.
B.
Versatile trade is all that they need because now Whip, he only has 10 HP. Look at down towards the other side. Getting a couple of shots coming down from Relic, but Relic, he misses some of those bullets. Whip is gonna be able to survive. Turn around, going for a headshot, and Excali comes on down through with a couple of headshots for himself as well. That flick was absolutely nasty. Excali, I think he got himself a can of Red Bull, and you guys should as well by scanning that QR code. But moving on down, back over to the matchup. Excali, what was that shot? He is... like, what is this guy on? What happened after map number 2? He got something for himself, and I want that as well.
True that. I guess he got some Red Bulls. But, I mean, true that. Especially from Haven onwards, when he picked up that operator, he has been so nasty. He has been nutty as well. Oh my god, Sai gets that ding. It feels so good. But all these players, they're gonna make their way towards ramp and will complete Heaven's control. But will they be able to make any use of it? That is going to be the question. The concuss comes out from the breach, and Excali goes on a rampage. Tries to go in even further, but that's not going to be enough. Sai comes in to get a 4th. And the final kill from INQ to completely shut down the TRUERIPPERS. Such a wonderful coordination. And just like you mentioned, Aggressive, this is where the breach really comes into play, right? That concuss was so beautiful. Fault line getting all these players and completely buzzing them down, and then Excali just spraying them at his own free will. It was pure perfect.
Yeah, it was a picture perfect play coming on down through from the side of Blackhawks to put the position, of course, the utility advantage down towards the side of Samurai Esports, but at the same time, you have to give it to Excali to be so much more confident when it comes down to a lot of those aggressive plays. But just as I was talking about confidence, One Tap God is like, hey, I also have a lot of confidence. You gotta cast me. You gotta give me some props as well. He goes in for that swing, gets a beautiful clean tap down towards onto the side of Sai. Sai was not ready for that. Master's gonna be able to take down Excali, and I think the caster's curse is working a little bit too strong.
Last player standing.
And
Yeah.
shots are going to be going in all over the place. Paradox is going to be able to take down Wimp. And now it's just INQ trying to go up against the entire world. His position is not known, but he should be good for 1 kill, but not more than that.
Oh no, gives away his position right now. Will facing a lot of lead through the woodworks and through the out in the open as well. And finally, Relic is going to be the one who will get the kill. TRUERIPPERS finally get back around for themselves. I mean, after 4 hard rounds, Team TRUERIPPERS are certainly back. And Team Samurai Esports, their economy is going to be a bit dented in this one because I'm not sure if all of them will be able to afford weapons. Yeah, a few of them will have to go through SMGs again and a Bulldog alongside some light shield. So Team TRUERIPPERS have certainly built up a sort of a cushion for themselves, but Team Samurai Esports, they're not far behind.
Yeah, now that stuff is going to be a little bit more interesting. Moving on down the line with the push coming on down from the side of the TRUERIPPERS. Moving on down towards the side of mid. Maybe that Boopon gets a kill. Maybe that grenade gets a little bit more. But at the very end of it all, the silver lining of all of that utility being used was that now Paradox, he has no tailwind, so he needs to commit to his fights and needs to be ready to die out if he misses on his first initial shot. So Excali, he knows that exactly, and he's holding on down over towards the side of B Heaven, trying to go in for a couple of jiggles, trying to see if he can find at the bare minimum of something for himself. But look at Blackhawk's positioning. I love that spot because it's so cheeky and you just don't expect it. Blackhawk, he's gonna be coming on down through with his beautiful crosshair placement, getting another kill for himself, and now it just started, and I think it's pretty much over already, Salty. No way the side of TRUERIPPERS can go in for a proper execution without their jet on their side, and Excali is going to be able to take down Master as well. Time's already up, 40 seconds left on the clock, and in this 3 versus 5 situation, they need a literal miracle to try and pull off this round.
Yeah. Colossal task for Relic as well. 2 players right in front of him
30
on those
seconds
Nano
left.
Swarms and on those Gravity Wells as well. Ah, Siren, the judge slaps him to his left and he falls to his right. Kind of topical over there.
yeah.
Crosshair finds one. The Gravity Well. Is it gonna get Sizer? No, Crosshair gets 2. Tries to dash out of the Gravity Well, which was sort of weird. The spike will go down eventually, but 3v2 is going to be a bit hard. One tap God just holding on to this position, right? Wim walks in on him. The ultimate from Excali is going to be very crucial, and it's going to be an open plant, right? So one tap God is going to have an opportunity to kind of shut down the defuse, but then what can he pull off? The defuse coming in. Blackhawk just waiting for this guy to peek and, yep, waiting for that opportunity to shut him down with that headshot. Good stuff from Team Samurai Esports. They pull back 1 round and equalize things up at 8-8.
Yeah, this is a really good round coming in down from the side of Samurai Esports, but at the same time, you have to give it a Crosshair, using all of his resources down to the wire, and I'm very sure that that last bullet was the one that hit Sai in the head. So Crosshair cutting it a little bit too close for comfort, but at the same time, hey, he's an aim star and we are not. He knows exactly how many bullets he needs to go in for that kill, and he showcased his aim really well, but at the very end of it all, I would say that this is not a bad round coming on down through from the side of TRUERIPPERS because they got the showstopper out of Excali. That was a round that shouldn't have been using any more resources from the side of Samurai Esports, but the fact that they were able to stop any form of an ultimate advantage coming on down through from their end is gonna make this push a lot more simpler as well. But at the same time, Excali going in a little bit too early without any form of flash utility coming on down through, and Paradox, he's gonna be able to tag down Blackhawk as well to very low levels of HP, but this hammer on Sai once more. He holds that Killjoy Judge right on the ready to go in for a little bit of Judge supremacy himself, but at the same time, they're gonna smell him out, and it's gonna be Crosshair who slaps a bullet into his skull to take him on down out. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be a 3 versus 4 situation with the fast rush heading on down over towards the A side.
Yeah. And this time around, they actually don't venture too much towards the heaven region. We've seen them do this multiple times. So they try and get complete heaven control and then get overwhelmed with the amount of utility and then get overwhelmed with the amount of players that just jump on them, pound on them from the defender spawn area as well. So this time around, they go directly towards the site and plant the bomb, but this time around, the flawed line is going to come in as well. If they can utilize this perfectly, if they can time this push to perfection, the retake can be possible. Relic, he falls down. Wimp and Iron, they get 3 kills. Wonderful job right there, Master. Will he be able to hold on? 1 player right beside him. It's 1.
Master's too good. Master's too good.
What was that?
This is Masters, ladies and gentlemen. This guy, in these 1 versus 2 clutch situations, he will never falter, and he will never fail you. He's like One Tap God Mini. I'm sorry to say this, Master, but you're One Tap God Mini because One Tap God has stolen our hearts after what he did in map number 2. But
Or maybe One Tap God
Masters-
Pro Max.
Pro
One Tap God Pro Max.
Yeah, that can work out as well. Masters, he is like beautiful in the way he takes out a lot of those executions, and he is perfect in the way he took that engagement as well. He's gonna be able to get the 9th round on the board and the tiebreaker for the side of TRUERIPPERS now, ladies and gentlemen. And with the push now going on down through, they need to be very careful moving on down the line as well, because otherwise things are not going to be looking that good down for their end. And with the push now going on down through TRUERIPPERS, they want to make that execute happen down towards that A side, but with 2 members now holding on down strong from the side of the side, they're going to be both spotted on out, and it's going to be Paradox going in for that spray to take down a couple of members for himself. But look at the same time, look at Excali. He wants to make that push happen, but he doesn't have the armor to do so. Instead, and it's going to be Master being able to take him on down out, take it down over to a 5 versus 2 situation. And as the round just started, It's pretty much already over. This is going to be an eco round loss from the side of Samurai Esports. And it's going to be one tap God to finish everything off and get his showstopper back as well. And Salty, look at the ultimate bars coming on down through from the side of TRUERIPPERS. They have everything, and they're ready to throw the kitchen sink straight into the faces of Samurai.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bit dirty, honestly, because if all those 5 ultimates come in together, yeah, I'm not sure what to expect, but for sure, Team TRUERIPPERS, they have all the weaponry in the world to kind of make it work. And talk about Team Samurai Esports, yep, they have 2 light shields, so that can be a bit problematic for them. If they lose this round, I guess the map is going to be one, I don't know, one blast away from Team TRUERIPPERS' grasp, but yeah, Team Samurai Esports, they do everything. I guess Sai has a lineup. Does he have a lineup? I'm not sure. But obviously, Team TRUERIPPERS, they're still trying to make it work, right? Again, the mid-aggression that we've seen so much. Sai. Oh my god, that is exactly what he was looking for, right? He was looking for the wall bang. The grenade comes in, Excali finds one. He finds the second one onto Paradox and Master as well. One tap God. Still trying to make something happen from the B mains Arian. He can actually rush in with the showstopper and make something happen, but then 2 players through the woodworks is going to be too difficult for him to deal with.
Foster's gonna be able to get that first initial kill down on the side, finish off all the duties that he needs to finish off, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of ultimates are gonna be propped from the side of the defense, so, and I don't like this because now using that Rolling Thunder is gonna be quite a massive deal, but at the same time, there's gonna be a whip down towards the other side, towards the A main area, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's pretty much already over. The Raptors' position is under their control. One tap got stuck between a rock and a hard place, and that spike,
30 seconds left.
yeah, it's a no man's land. Like, you know, when you're on The Walking Dead and there are a lot of zombies hoarding that one specific item that you really want? Yeah, how do you get past all those zombies? One tap God, even though he has a showstopper on his back, using this to try and clutch out this round with only 30 seconds left on the clock, that's not something that you really need to do. Spots out Ion, but Ion's just ready for that engagement. He was expecting One Tap God to be in that one specific position. And with that, it's going to be 10 and 9 on the scorecards, ladies and gentlemen. And for the side of Samurai Esports, a breath of fresh air, because now, not only were they able to win the round, but they were able to stabilize themselves when it came down to the terms of eco as well.
The stabilization was really important right there, but no, man. I mean, they didn't really invest onto the ultimates, right? TRUERIPPERS could have done a lot, could have opened things up, could have used the orbital strike, could have used a showstopper to kind of clean out some of the pathways as they push forward, but they didn't really do any of that. Instead, they went for the dry peaks, and they were completely shut down by Shai's positioning, which was picture perfect. But this time around, they're going for the smokes, right? They will try and shut down all those choke points. The showstopper comes in, One Tap God finds Blackhawk. That is one breach, one annoying agent out of the equation. One player, I believe that's going to be the Jet, has already found his way on the Heavens region. Look at the map. He is already in the mid region trying to shut down any aggression. This push from Sai as well as the other player is going to be so critical, because if Paradox turns around and slaps those 2 players, that's basically round over for them. But Sai is actually aware of his positioning. Paradox will put off a jet diff and will move on towards Wim.
And ooh, Paradox, he's gonna be able to get whipped out almost immediately. Excali's last person rating. How much can he do is the real question. It's gonna be able to get 1 kill, but they know for a fact that when it comes to the terms of the eco, the entirety of the side of Samurai Esports, they are on a massive ditch. They need to try and survive. They need to try and save those guns and save that utility as much as they possibly can, so they can go in for a proper buy in the following round with their teammates, because Blackhawk is not gonna be able to go in for a full and proper buy with all of his utility on the cards as well. And with Ion being able to maybe eke out a bulldog at the bare minimum for his teammates, they're still going to be able to go in for those optimum buys. Maybe, but in the long run here, Salty, that execution was so beautiful primarily because of one thing. TRUERIPPERS, they only invested the showstopper, and I want to highlight the fact that Relic didn't pull off his hat as well. He still has the neural theft on his arsenal, primarily because he knew for a fact that even though Blackhawk went down, I don't need to use my ultimate. I can save it for the next round. And now that they're on the 11th round and the fact that they still have their neural theft, this lurk coming on down from the side of Relic could make it or break it for the side of Samurai Esports if he's able to get 1 kill.
Yep, right. I mean, that is exactly what I was talking about. They could have invested in the showstopper round earlier when they lost that round, right? had they invested on that round, Team Samurai Esports' EQ could have been completely broken apart. They wouldn't have even SMGs to buy. Probably they would have had 3 SMGs to buy, but that was about it. Wouldn't have even invested on the shields. But that's about it. That's all past. And this time around, Team True Rippers go for a big rotation. All these players training towards the A side. And this time around, the read from Team Samurai Esports is perfect because they have kind of sensed that there is no presence towards B, there's no presence towards mid as well. This is going to be an A execute. The Astra is well positioned to shut down the main aggression, and 2 players on the Heavens region will shut down any sort of aggression, any form of aggression from Rams.
Ooh, Paradox, he's maybe looking for a couple of plays. He's gotta be good for one. Will it be good for a second as well?
Wow.
It's gonna be one time going. Paradox just going down over onto military precision, ladies and gentlemen. They're swinging left, they're swinging right, and it's gonna be one tap got swinging out of the smoke this time around to get a beautiful one tap down onto Ion and take him down out. And once again, Salty, they still have 4 ultimates to work with. The Orbital Strike, the Revive, the Neural Theft, and of course the Blade Storm in the hands of Paradox as well. I don't know how the side of Samurai are gonna hope to stop this, because on this 12-9 scoreline, if the ultimate usage from the side of True Rippers is on point, if that Orbital Strike is able to get that 1 kill, and if Masters is able to survive right until the very end, it's nearly impossible statistically to try and win out this round.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Do
oh
we
my god.
celebrate early, Team True Rippers? We have seen them choke heavy on that 12 scoreline. So this time around, they got that early man advantage. The Orbital Strike, just like you mentioned, is probably going to be one of the most important utility in this round itself, right? Even if it doesn't get kills, it can clean out certain choke points, and that is what they want, probably. The Resurrection isn't going to be as important as the other pieces of utility, but Paradox, he finds Excali in the process and creates so much space for him that he can move up the mid-heavens region. Iron as well as a Breach are going to be pincered from both directions. Look at the presence towards the B main area, right? 3 players, and also Paradox holding the mid region, preventing them from expanding any further. He's been brought down 4 HP and Blackhawk shuts him down. So that is one important player out of the business already. And this time around, they need to put all their eggs in one basket. The wall is there as well, and they want to invest heavily, or do they? They're actually falling back aggressive.
Do you know what I love coming on down from the side of Crosshair? I did not notice this previously, but he's waiting for Ion to actually place down his lockdown before he uses his own ultimate. He wants to make before he executes down onto the side, and there is nothing that can stop them out from these different type of positions. Whip! He doesn't spot out the gun barrel straight through that smoke. Instead, it's gonna be one tap not being able to shut him down. The Astral Divide does go on down through, but still, this is an impossible 1-2 versus 5 situation. The Cypher takes his hat off, and it's pretty much already done and dusted. The ultimate is gonna be popped as well, and Master is gonna slap a bullet into the skull of Blackhawk, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be the side of True Rippers ripping through all of the hopes and dreams of the side of Samurai Esports, and then taking away not just this map, but also this entire set. It is now over, ladies and gentlemen, and it's gonna be your champions, True Rippers, being able to take this entire set in their favor.
Dude, I mean, I'm not sure. Aggressive, be very honest. How many odds, what odds would you actually stack up against Team True Rippers, against Team Samurai Esports at the start of this best of 3? I really want to know from you, what do you think? What was the scoreline? How many times out of 10 would Team True Rippers be 2-1 against a team like Samurai Esports? For me, it was pretty low, honestly.
Personally, in my opinion, when you look at the track record of the side of Samurai Esports, you know for a fact that they have such an amazing track record of being an incredible team that True Rippers, they had their work cut out for them. But I wasn't expecting a 2-1 victory to go down in the favor of the side of True Rippers personally, because I thought that Samurai Esports, they had that firepower, they had that manpower to do pretty much everything and take away this entire set. But as we are going to be talking about that, let's head on down over to the match highlights to get a bird's eye view of not just this one specific match, but also this entire set, because this entire set was a roller coaster of emotions here, Salty, because I don't know how I feel about this. This one map in particular, right at the very end, you have to say, was just like a tipsy-turvy ride. I don't know who to root for or how to cast this, because my brain went completely blank on multiple rounds.
So was I. I mean, I was completely berserk. But one good thing the True Rippers pulled off in this match is that they didn't hard choke like the one that they did on Haven. For sure, they could have closed things out pretty early, but Samurai Esports, the way they came back on that map, it was insane, right? But True Rippers, they didn't really give them any sort of opportunity in this map. They did look in control right throughout. Sure, Team Samurai Esports were putting up a good fight, right? Getting those rounds back and going back and forth with the scoreline. But in all honesty, the strats as well as the mix and matchups what that we got to see from True Rippers, couple that up with the individual brilliance from certain players like Paradox, Master, and others, they were just absolutely brilliant. And honestly, I'm pretty impressed with Master's versatility because that man is good on a controller, that man is good on a duelist, and that man is good on a Sage as well in the form of a Sentinel. This time around, Blackhawk, his breach was pretty impressive, but Samurai Esports, I feel like they were so close. They were this close from winning this one, but just couldn't really execute their plans.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. There were a lot of strategies that could have gone through properly for the side of Samurai Esports, but the thing is, their utility usage was just not on point. The team play and coordination just not there on this matchup today. I think that it was just a bad day coming on down from the side of Samurai because we know them to be a team that have a lot more team play. They have a lot more coordination in what they do. And today it was just a lot more about those individual players, about those individual skill levels. And the fact that the side of True Rippers were able to come on down together as a team just completely changed the dynamic of a lot of the plays that you would have expected to come on down from the side of Samurai Esports. They were not able to be as aggressive. They were not able to use a lot of their utility in conjunction with one another. It's just a little bit of a question mark in my eyes. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be heading on down over towards the map beater to see the scoreline one more time because it's going to be a 15 and 13. It's going to be a 14 and 12. And at the very end, it was a 13 and 9. Ladies and gentlemen, it was an absolutely incredible showing coming on down through from the side of Samurai Esports, but at the very end, it was True Rippers ending things off. Do you have any more closing words for the side of True Rippers and what happened in map number 1 and 2 here, Salty?
I mean, I'm honestly flabbergasted at this point because we got to see two overtimes, and even the final map was pretty darn close, like 13 to 9 is a pretty tight score line. And at a point, it was so evenly matched that you couldn't really predict who's going to win, right? But Samurai Esports, they fought well enough. But True Rippers, I mean, aggressive, I'm not sure how people are going to perceive this, but I felt like True Rippers were in control right from the start. They were in control on Ascent. They were in control on Haven as well. Courtesy some brilliance from Samurai Esports, they did pick up the map, but even on Split, they look to be in control. And I feel like this is it's time when you really consider True Rippers one of the big teams in Indian Valorant at this point. They're no more underdogs. They're no more the black
Yep.
horses. At this point, they're like they can pose a potential David Goliath threat against every big team out there,
Yep.
and they can take out anybody.
Yeah, at this stage, the side of True Rippers, honestly, when you look at their story and the fact that their journey from start to finish, I have seen this team evolve over and over again, but what has remained consistent is their roster. The names that you see here has been they have been playing together for over the entirety of Valorant's history. It's been a year
Mhm.
of me casting Valorant, and I've seen this team stick together no matter what happens. And they are finally seeing the fruits of their labor. Being able to take down juggernauts such as the side of Samurai Esports, you're gonna be really happy because when it came down to the statistics and when it came down to the analytics for their side, the map of split should not have gone in their favor whatsoever. And even if it did, it should have been much more of that closer showing, heading on down over onto overtime. That's why I was constantly saying that 15 and 13 scoreline, maybe that 14 and 12, something like that, something off with an overtime, but a 13 and 9 on the map of split, when you were known to not be as potent on split, just goes to show that you have changed up your strategies, just goes to show that you have grown a lot because of the gauntlet series going on down through together as a team and also as individual players. That now they're going to be able to pat themselves on the back. Yes, they're not going to be able to head on down over onto playoffs, but the fact that they're not being relegated and the fact that they were able to show the side of Samurai Esports with a last dying breath right at the very end, being like, hey, we are here and you have to notice us. And they're telling all of us that they're going to be coming back even stronger for season 2, which registrations are live, by the way. So make sure to check all the links down in the description below and make sure that you are registered as well. But honestly, I'm really excited to see what these teams are going to be bringing down onto the table soon enough when we are going to be heading on down onto playoffs. But Salty, I'm going to ask you one more question before we do head on down over to the group standings. What do you think
Mhm.
really went wrong for the side of Samurai? Because I feel as though they had everything on their arsenal,
Hmm.
but that Astra play coming on down through, it was just not as potent as I would have expected.
I feel like Samurai, they tried too many things at once, right? I'm not as much as qualified as these players, right? I'm pretty much just another viewer watching these games, just on the other side of the desk. But if you really ask my opinion, just as a neutral sided viewer, I feel like Samurai Esports tried a lot too much and a lot too many tactics on one single go, right? And they
Yep.
were being nullified, and they knew that, right? They were very much conscious of their I wouldn't say incapability to go against Team True Rippers, but I would say the fact they couldn't really cope up to the constant adaptation from True Rippers is something which probably took them down. Now, they can come back strong enough from this defeat in the best of 3 series and probably go ham in the playoffs. We know they are already qualifying for the playoffs, right?
Yep.
But what I really felt was like every time they lost a round, they were trailing in this game right throughout. So maybe they can shift a few roles here and there, maybe try in some different tactics. Most of their playbook is certainly deep, but is it working fine enough? Are they actually getting those executes working properly? That's There's a very big question mark there, and I guess they can fix that.
It's all about polishing up those last few plays so that you can make sure it doesn't happen once again down towards playoffs. And talking about playoffs, ladies and gentlemen, let's head on down over to the group standings and see where both of these teams are going to be holding down strong and what we can expect coming on down through from all of the teams. And as you can already see, the dynamic of the group standings haven't really changed as much. So Samurai Esports, they're going to be able to take it down over onto 10 points. The Esports team is going to be on a 4-2-9. And True Rippers, as expected, they have taken the number 5 position and they're going to stick there no matter what happens. And that is True Rippers for you, ladies and gentlemen. They are ready for their engagements and they know exactly what to do. But at the same time, taking the number 5 position, it's not really as different from taking that number 6. So both True Rippers and Team Fangs, they're going to be heading on down over onto season number 2 and going directly over towards the group stages almost immediately. But Salty, I want your opinion. Do you have any opinions over on the group standings and how you like the changes?
I guess the top 4 teams deservedly have their positions. True Rippers and Fangs kind of miss out pretty closely. They're pretty good teams, right? And the point difference just goes to show that this Group B especially, was super close. I mean, just have a look. Team Fangs on 6th position. It's just 2 points away from Team Esports team. Of course, they have one match in their bag, so they can build up on it. But Samurai Esports with 10 points, True Rippers with 8 points, who have completed both all their 7 games. It was pretty darn close. True Rippers, the kind of performance that they show right now, Team Fans, the kind of performance they showed yesterday, just goes to show that these teams, they can come back stronger. And the fact that they have taken maps off of the teams that have qualified for the playoffs just goes to show that they are capable. They couldn't execute in season 1, but for sure they're going to be preparing hard for season 2.
And that is for sure. Season 2 is where the real fun is about to start because a lot of the teams that have gained experience here on the group stages are just going to come back even stronger for season number 2. But hey, season number 2 is still a long haul away because we still have playoffs, baby. And we got to get ready for that. And we got to get hyped for that. And make sure when you are part of that hype to go down over and check all the links down in the description below because we have a lot of deals set up by our sponsors back at WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. Get yourself that new processor, get yourself that new SSD to beef up your game before season 2 comes on around because you need to play at your best potential to go up against all these pros who have the best possible hardware that gaming has to offer. So make sure to go on down, see what suits your fancy, because it doesn't cost a single bit of money, ladies and gentlemen, to just check out the deals at the bare minimum. But for now, as you are going to be going on down there, make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell as well, because we are going to be going live soon enough with the 7:30 p.m. game as well. So make sure you tune in for that. because it's going to be the esports team going up against the side of Velocity. But for now, we're going to be taking a short break, and we're going to be back with you real shortly, soon enough, with the TEC Gauntlet Season 1, powered by W Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. We'll catch you in just a little bit.